What is going on, everybody? It's episode 174 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, your favorite freezing cold, anemic co-host, coming back at you with chill vibes.
The blanket does make you look rather sickly right now.
Do you get it? Chill?
Because it's cold in here. Do you get it? We get it. We have a comedian here. You should have gotten it. Would you introduce yourself, please, sir?
Funny. Hold on. I still need a second to work out this blanket thing. Right. Got it. Hello, everybody. I'm Jamie Kilstein. I'm a stand-up comedian. You know me from Cast Castle and IRL and Marjorie Taylor Greene's new best friend, who she wants to bring to church so I can find a nice a Christian gal.
A church-going lady.
A church-going lady, yeah, so that's fun. Hi, I'm glad to be here. I always forget you guys call your people crisis actors, and it makes me laugh every time.
I love it.
I wanted to put it on the billboard.
That would have been so good. That would have been so good. That would have been so good.
Like, if we could have put that on the billboard, that would have been fantastic.
Hashtag crisis actors.
It would have been incredible. We have a second co-host today. Would that be? Is there another term for co-host beyond co-host? Would it be co-host?
Hashtag they them.
Wait. Oh, this is too confusing.
Whoever, whatever. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, guys. It's Taylor Silverman. I'm happy to be back again. Thanks for joining us. I'm the co-host today.
We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today with a group of four people. This is one of those days where the topics come together very, very easily. We've got the hilarious cancellation of the doomed Batgirl movie that I could have told you was a bad idea like a year ago based on how they were marketing it. We're going to talk about John Boyega, his comments about Marvel, his approach to acting, which I found very interesting given his success, and I actually like it quite a bit. And then we are also going to talk about Demi Lovato because, sometimes you just need an easy layup every once in a while.
She's getting in touch with her feminine side again.
She is, to the detriment of anyone writing articles about her. We got that. We got Podluck. We got a bunch of other stuff. So if you four are ready, we will just get right into it. Mary, are we ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Are we ready?
Born ready, son.
We are ready.
Didn't even have to ask her. We are good to go. But of course, before we are going to check on our friend Chet and see how Chet is doing. And how do you guys think he's doing good?
I mean, he's
He's always
busy
doing
man.
good.
Wait. I think he's doing good. Red exclamation point.
I think he's doing good in all caps.
I think so as well.
I think he's doing good. Expletive. Doing so good. Expletive. Red exclamation point. Red exclamation point.
Let's see what he's doing. So he gets up early. Oh, first we have he always has to let you know that he's going to get up at 4 a.m., of course.
He proves it.
He proves it every day. He has to prove to you that he's getting up at 4 a.m., which, to be fair, he sets his alarm for 4:45, so he always gets up before. I don't think we can actually... We're going to mute that.
He just does like 1,000 burpees.
Guys, that music...
I hope he doesn't give us a copyright claim, but it says, before you can change the world, you must first change yourself.
Yeah.
All external materialization must start from within. All shortcuts lead to dead ends. I think he has a history as a motivational speaker. I really do. Because
a future, you mean?
Yeah, both, probably.
If he had said that out loud, it would have been twice as impactful as boring old me saying it.
Sure.
Because he would have said it with way more
rage,
vim, vigor, and rage, right?
Yes.
So I think
the rage is really the key.
It is.
I like that he's motivated by spite.
He really is too. Like
that's a vibe.
He's like doing it just purely out of the fact that.
Are you gonna play the video?
The one from yesterday.
Yeah.
This one, yes. There's no bad audio.
I know this shit's not normal.
There it is.
I know this is not some normal ass fucking type of behavior. Okay, I've always been out of my fucking mind.
These are all the things I'm not allowed to say on the show.
Before I was out of my mind to my own detriment. Now I'm out of my mind to my own benefit. And let me tell you something. This feeling right here of just being absolutely fucking gone on your own wavelength, your own frequency, your own rate of vibration, this is it. This is the high we're all chasing, and it's better than any fucking drug on the planet. This is it right here. Is it too much for you? Is it freaking you out? Good. Yes. Because that's the best part about this. I get to attract the people that are like me and push away the people that don't fucking get it, because I don't want to fucking waste my time with you guys anyway.
Yeah.
But if this is appealing to you and you'd like to experience this for yourself, then DM me your fucking number and let's get to work. This is it. I'm telling you. Let's fucking do it.
Laugh at the end. I never saw that part of the video.
I feel like he broke. He was performing and then he broke.
He's like laughing at himself.
I want to talk like this in real life, like to the gas station attendant. Just like, if you're not on my frequency, get out. But if you are, DM me, hustle.
Yes.
So I took his advice and DM'd him my phone number, and yesterday, 10 minutes into the show, he called me and I didn't see it. I wasn't looking at my phone because I'm a fool. Jamie is finding this out for the first time live, by the way.
Right now.
I have the actual video of me filming her when she got the phone call.
So Mr.
Send it
Big
to me,
Blue
send it to
check
me, send it
mark
to me.
didn't get a phone call. I got
Oh, no,
a phone call.
I've talked to him on the phone.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, what did he say?
Listen to me. Crisis actors, listen to me. It's going to be worth it. I'm going to wait to see how your phone call goes, and then we're going to compare it.
Okay.
I sent my number too. He hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Well, that's because
He's
you're
gonna
controversial.
be able to sell you something.
I'm
We're all controversial.
I'm ready to get in shape, Chet.
I'm
Call
not
me.
Brett is the least.
I'm the least controversial.
Brett is
But
lovable rollerblading Brett.
he texted me after I didn't answer and was like, "Hey, it's Chet. Like, what's up?" And I called him back after the show, like an hour after the show was over. And he answered, and it sounded like he was in a very crowded area.
He was probably in that same restaurant.
Yeah, and I was like,
He was just around his frequency.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, like, how do I know it's actually you, though? And he had to, like, talk a little bit for me to, like, recognize his voice. And I was like, okay, I believe it's you. And he was like, listen, I'm on an international call right now. I think it would be better to take this to text. And I think he's using a second phone. Or at least he's, like, switching out his SIM card or whatever.
Yeah. Also, I'm assuming he's not giving strangers on the internet his real phone number.
Yeah.
He
No,
probably
no.
has a burner
But
phone.
he has my real phone number.
He sure does. He sure does.
So yeah, we got off the call, and then I texted him like, "Hey, I'll just like add you on WhatsApp," and he was like, "That won't be necessary." But what made you reach out? And I was like, "Listen, I have this show about pop culture. We want you on. We're huge fans. When are you getting back from Greece?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's not going to fly.
crickets.
Yeah.
Mary got left on red by Chet Hanks.
Left on
But
red.
to be fair, if there was ever someone to get left on red by, it would be Chet Hanks. It would be
Legendary.
like Anna de Armas leaving me on red.
Oh my
That's
God,
fine.
Mary! Actually, I've been watching these YouTube videos and like Instagram clips. You know who would be really good? Like they have all these like techniques to like get confidence. Like, oh, do people keep leaving you on red? It's Chet Hanks. Oh wait, that's not gonna work.
Okay.
That's
What-
Well,
Yeah,
how did your phone call go?
oh, it went great. I've had several.
What did you talk to him about?
What do you think? He
Getting jacked and
I have
staying
no
sober?
idea. What
all
do
right.
you mean?
So it's the exact same thing that's gonna happen, which is I was like, I'm gonna make the pop culture kids so happy, and I'm gonna get Chet Hanks on the show. I'm pretty sure Brett likes me. Jury's out on Mary. Sometimes we're a go, other times, but I was like, this will get her, and he same deal DMs me, and or no, I'm sorry, he texted me. He called me. I missed it, and then he texted me. And he was just like, "Are you ready to change your life?" And I was like, "Well, that's intense for like hanging out on a podcast, but like, yeah, I'm ready to change my life." And then we got on the phone, and as he will to you, he pitched me his training program.
Yeah.
Now, what would make this bit very funny? So no interest in the podcast. I dropped the podcast on text like 2 or 3 times. Completely ignored it.
He's just playing it. He doesn't want to talk about that.
All he wants is like the monthly coaching stuff.
Yeah.
And so now the funny part, Mary, would be if I was like, yeah, so I like hung up on him and I let Mary, try her hand at it. And oh, Mary got left on red. I'm the cool guy. Mary's such a dork. I've been at a real crossroads in my life, you guys. And the way he was pitching his coaching program sounded really,
Was
really
selling
good.
you?
And I was like, well, I mean, like, we're like pretty much friends because I have a blue check mark.
of course.
So, like, why not try it I signed up.
Oh
You
my
signed
God!
up?
Of course I did.
Wait, how much is it to sign up?
I'm not allowed
You
to
can't say.
No,
I'll have
that's
to
it.
ask him if he calls me.
Yeah. He'll tell you. Don't you worry.
Because
That will be all he wants to talk about.
I'm challenging some other
Yeah.
people in the house to a fitness challenge, and I thought
6-pack in 6 weeks.
a
Six-pack in
coach
6
like
weeks.
Chet is what I need.
That's what you need.
I could do okay on my own, but
I will say some of the stuff he's given me has been good.
Okay.
As
Well,
well.
it clearly worked for him.
when did you sign up? How far into it are you?
Like a month, and I just had to cancel.
But you can do like only a month at a time.
He doesn't love it, But yes,
I'll have to see what he thinks about me doing like a challenge if something he'll consider.
Yeah.
I know he takes it very seriously.
He's like, I'm not here to change your life for a month. I'm here to change your life for life.
Forever.
Guys, can I tell you, when I texted Mary about this, I legitimately was like, I'm becoming friends with Chet Hanks. And this has happened a lot. Like, a ton of my celebrity friends, it started over Instagram or something like that. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, man, he's selling me a coaching program. And then suddenly I was like, oh, man, I'm falling for it. And then suddenly I was like, bye, money.
He's a good salesman. He's a good salesman.
He also, brace for this, everybody. Brace for this. When you're like, give me a night to think on it. Nah.
Oh, no, he put you in the hot seat right away.
He doesn't like that at all.
He's like, do you really think you got a night to waste?
Right.
Do you have a night to waste? You need to get started right now. Don't think about
excuses.
No excuses. I'm getting an international phone call right now. You have 5 seconds before I have to take this international phone call.
He's like a boiler room, a guy in a boiler room selling you like some stock that you can't. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is I did say no because I was like, this is a sales tactic.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not falling for it. And I go, all right, man. Well, I need the night to think about it. If it doesn't work out and you're filled up, it's cool. And I hung up, and I was just like, look at me. Look at me being a stud, just like Chet Hanks. And then I wook up and I texted him. I was like, hi, I'd like to do it. And he responded right away. He's like, you're in. And I was like, I know I'm in. I was always in.
Perfect. So we're waiting.
I don't understand because
Mary, you're
he
gonna have to
goes
do the
on
program.
Z-Way.
Yeah.
Who just openly attacks him and attacks his character
What's
on a public stage. It's a D-lister late night wannabe talk show host. So he went on her show and we talked about it at the time. That was when he was telling SJWs to kick rocks.
Oh.
Anyways, she was just doing that to assassinate his character and make him look like he's insane.
Right.
And
when he's not.
All we want, Chet, is to have you on and ask you honest questions and
Chet,
just
like
hear your
clients.
perspectives because we love what you do. We love your vibes and we want to hear about the work you do and how you're setting yourself apart and not attack you like Z-Way did.
No, we love you. Here's what you should do, Mary. Don't do any of the phone call texting thing. You text him, forget the left on red. You just text him a straight pitch. You say how big the show is, how big Tim's show is. You can even say something about we're not going to attack you like that. People, we're legitimate fans. You can and say you can promote your coaching program.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
But if he thinks you're going to be a client,
for you,
he's
Chad.
gonna
All right, we're going to get into it, guys. We're going to get into it first. We're going to talk about Batgirl. So this news broke yesterday just as we were going live. Like we actually got a super chat asking us about it. And I was like, I'll have to look into it. But basically, the $90 million Batgirl movie.
That's how much it was?
$90 million
They're
Batgirl
saying some
movie.
of them are saying over $100 million.
We could have solved the homeless problem.
No.
Originally planned to be $70 million budget.
What? That's
and
so
went
fun.
over $100 million. They're saying, because of COVID.
Yep,
Sure.
and that's before marketing,
Like,
so
what?
you would have had to do 1.5 times that. So Batgirl film axed by Warner Brothers will not be released on any platform. The
Good
great,
riddance.
The great in epic David Zaslav just cutting stuff down one by one. He's the new CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery.
Not happy.
and he is not having any of this.
What I said is he's going fruit ninja mode. He'll just slice anything in half.
It's just Jordan Peterson in a disguise.
That would be cooler. He says he had a quote where I was listening to a quote of him earlier where he says it's not about how much, it's about how good. Clearly, this movie is not very good. The test screening. Now, I saw some reports saying that they're blaming it on test screenings, that the test screenings were awful, and then other people saying that they want to focus on theater releases only.
But they're insisting that it has nothing to do with the quality of the film because they're clinging to the notion that this would ever have organic appeal if it were given a theatrical release.
I have a
and it
couple-
wouldn't.
The ginger side continues. They get rid of redheaded Barbara Gordon. That's a problem.
Ooh. I have a couple questions
Oh,
for
yeah.
you before I give my take. First of all, I just want to say I was listening to a Barry Weiss podcast. God, I've changed. And with Andrew Schultz, the comedian Andrew Schultz. And they were talking about how what's so great about HBO Max is they put all this money into shows. They have the most quality shows. They were the last to the party and have the most quality shows. But one of the reasons is because they don't mind if they put a bunch of money in, and if a show sucks or it's not doing well, they'll axe it because it's the same thing. They're going for quality. Now, my questions for you. I didn't know much about this. Who was the writer? What were if you had to name like the 3 most woke crimes of Batgirl, what would they be?
I wouldn't go with woke. I would say the biggest issue here is going halfway and making it a movie on streaming rather than either doing a TV show on streaming or a movie in theaters.
So it wasn't even the trying to pander to the left kind of stuff.
The race swap of Batgirl doesn't.
I think another issue is that they put her in this very masculine costume. Like it had like zero sex appeal, and what you would expect from Batgirl is like just the teensiest, tiniest bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she looks like she works at Jiffy Lube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, what is this?
They talk about like, and the biggest crime coming out of this is we're not going to get to see Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser was going to be the bad guy in this movie. Brendan Fraser from The Mummy was going to play Garfield Lens, the character of Firefly in this. I didn't give a crap about
Firefly.
Batgirl.
That would have been cool.
I didn't give a crap about Batgirl. I wanted to see the Brendan Fraser as the bad guy in this movie. I kind of cared about the Michael Keaton cameo that was supposed to be in there. Not really. He's also going to cameo in The Flash. But maybe that's the more important discussion.
Is Michael Keaton the curse? Because The Flash, I don't know if you've heard about that Ezra character.
Yeah. So maybe the more important discussion here should not be about whether Batgirl deserved to be canceled. It's about whether Batgirl deserved to be canceled and The Flash is somehow moving forward.
Sure.
Maybe that white privilege stuff is real. Maybe I had it wrong all along.
You did. That's how bad.
No, because Ezra Miller has male privilege.
He has trans non-binary privilege.
Yeah.
Because they are.
Well,
at this
it's
point,
like if you were given the theatrical budget, you can't get away with not doing the release.
$90 million. They said this is one of the most expensive cancellations without release in the history of Hollywood. Normally, they would release it, but just dump it onto HBO Max and get it made.
It's so bad they have to bury it.
And maybe have if
it must have been really bad in test screenings.
Who wrote it?
For them to fully go back on it.
Totally scrapped, or is it going to be released to like DVD?
Never.
No, it was never going. It was never going to be released.
Come on,
I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like the lowest form of it coming out.
Only like a Blu-ray special edition.
Yeah.
And I looked for like if Leslie Grace had made any comments about this, and I looked at her Twitter and like her tweets celebrating the role is still up, like pinned on her profile. Yikes. And it's just yikes.
I used to. I mean,
that's a bummer.
When I was thinking about kind of the woke aspect of it, what's a bummer?
I don't give a. I don't think other than the fact that they race swapped Leslie Grace. None of this has anything to do with woke. It's just a bad idea to be.
No, that's very intentional and contrived.
No, I'm saying, but that's the only aspect of it that I see that way. I don't know enough. There was no trailer. There's nothing.
But like, imagine if it had come out.
Yeah.
I would bet a lot of money on it being a woke mess.
Let me reframe it then. I think it's sad that I even assumed that because it was a female protagonist. So like I used to, when I was growing up,
Barbara Gordon is a real character though. Like you can do a good Batgirl movie. You could do an Oracle movie. You could do a Batgirl movie.
This is exactly what I was going to say. So Black Panther, when Black Panther was made, Shang-Chi when Shang-Chi was made, those were so authentic, right? These were just films that were made by people who were passionate about the film.
Simu Liu is his own worst enemy as far as marketing. I can't stand that dude. But Shang-Chi was thoroughly inoffensive as far as a Marvel movie goes.
I enjoyed it a lot. And I do remember, I mean, this is cheesy, but it's just true. I went to see it, and I walked out of the theater.
I hated that ending.
And didn't love the ending either. And I walked out, and I saw this dad taking a picture of these two little Asian kids, like, in front of the billboard. Or not the billboard, but, like, the cardboard cutout in the movie theater. And I'm like, that's really cool. Like, I have a lot of, like, Pacific Islanders really close to Asian. And I was like, oh, that's dope. And I liked seeing that. And it was authentic. Then you compare that to, say, like, the Ghostbusters reboot with the all-female cast, or the Ocean's 11, where it's, like, forced. And
the Ocean's 11 one made money. That one actually came out ahead.
I watched it on a plane several weeks ago. It was fine. But I think that because so many of these reboots or whatever, they're trying to force it, like, what about Garfield if it was a lady or whatever? The expectations are so low that I think studio executives just pop at the idea of like a girl superhero, and then they just will be okay with kind of garbage instead of like She-Hulk looks terrible.
Here's the deal. Marvel is diluting their material now by releasing way too many TV shows. Right? It feels like homework to have to watch every show just so they can make a 2-minute cameo in a movie.
Like, why should I need to watch WandaVision to understand the context of Wanda in Doctor Strange? Which is supposed to involve her like for a third of the movie anyway.
Homework's a great way to put it.
So to me, what this says to me is, first of all, cancel the Black Canary movie instantly. Cancel it, cancel it, cancel it. I don't care about Journey Smollett.
Pro-cancel
I do not. I don't know how far along the production is. Cancel that movie. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody liked Birds of Prey anyways. And the other big thing here is just they want to, what David Zaslav is talking about. He says, we own the IP of like the most iconic characters in the world. How the F are we not making any money?
Yeah.
So he's saying they want to make theater quality films. $90 million, as much money as that is not a superhero theater quality film. Okay. They're dumping $150 to $200 million minimum to that level of movie. So they can't add to it now. It's already in post-production. They are diluting their brand by releasing more and more garbage, which DC can't seem to figure their crap out.
No. Well, I feel like
releasing it does more harm than good to their name recognition and their value.
Yeah. No, and I think they need like good writers, like the
maybe less writers,
or for sure,
the key.
I mean, the last DC film I loved was the new Suicide Squad, because they got James Gunn from Marvel, because Marvel fired him. Then Marvel saw that and was like, "We'll take you back." And now James Gunn's writing Guardians 3.
They never fired him. They fired him and quietly hired him back like a couple months later once all the criticism.
Because they're cowards.
So they knew they were going to do that from the start.
Yeah. Those test screenings were so poorly received by moviegoers that the studio decided to cut its losses and run for the sake of the brand's future. It's about the branding and remember, if all these characters are interconnected and you release this, now she's your Batgirl for the foreseeable future, even if nobody likes her. And to get rid of her means that they would have to first recast, which means you're going to get backlash. How dare you recast unless you make it even more progressive than that one before that.
Right.
Also,
it's a black girl in a wheelchair.
Then you have to write it differently, and then you have to write that recasting into the future project. Best to just scrap it now. But $90 million is a very large number to take a loss on. I would love to see a cut of this movie and see if it's as bad as
I want to see a cut of the movie, but I also want to see like what does a test screening that bad look like? Are the audience members just throwing up? Are they screaming at the screen? What is happening?
It's also funny,
like having seizures.
Yeah. Just like
people are just running out,
screaming.
Shock.
The theater catches on fire. Someone lights it on fire just to end it early.
DC is known for like hyping up their test screenings. Like, oh my God, they went and like all these people went and saw Batman versus Superman, and the executives stood up and clapped. I'm like, that didn't happen.
Right.
I just feel like DC could so easily overtake Marvel in terms of fan hype, but they don't take advantage of what they have.
They need to scrap everything.
Right
and
now,
and as you've said, there's some kind of curse going on over them.
Right now, David Zaslav is cutting down all of the excess fat. That's what he's known for. He is not for overspending. He is leaning the company down, and they need their own version of Kevin Feige over at DC, which is a very, very difficult role to fill. Finding somebody who is both an expert in the source material and a studio executive, that's like...
Right.
Studio executives and comic book nerds have very little in the way of overlap. This
is Tony Khan in AEW. It's like you found a wrestling nerd who's a billionaire.
Whose dad's a billionaire.
Whose
dad's a billionaire.
So you just sat around watching wrestling. That makes sense.
It's not even him. That's what I'm saying. It's not even him.
Yeah.
That disconnect is why these creative types who are very invested in the source material, who know every little miscellaneous character that we've never heard of, and they make a movie out of it. They expect that to do well with audiences, and then it doesn't land. Like Morbius.
Yeah.
What?
There's just something.
What is that?
Morbius. I
never heard of it.
Nope. And with DC, even the movies like I like The Rock. I like comic books, and I just like there's just something about
I don't care about Black Adam
vibe, of every DC trailer.
Dude, the Black Adam trailer was just like disturbing.
It was
and
so
not
bad.
The
enticing.
Shazam trailer was freaking awesome.
Although I hated Shazam.
I loved it.
I wanted to. I hated it.
I loved it.
Hated it. Although I did. I almost cried at the new Black Panther.
Why'd
trailer.
you hate it?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay.
I just remember seeing it, being hyped about it, and just being like,
well, you just said you listen to a Barry Weiss podcast. You might like it now. You never know.
Well, the last thing I want to say about DC, to Mary's point that it should be good, and to your point about Marvel feeling like it's homework, is the DC movies I've loved, Christopher Nolan, Batman, James Gunn, Suicide Squad, right? What DC should do is take advantage of the oversaturation that Marvel is giving us and just put out rarely and phenomenally. Safe, rare, and legal.
Well, that's what
no.
That's what he said. He said it's not about how much, it's about how good. That was Zaslav's quote. Yep. So if they want to do
scrap everything,
like DC does with their Black Label comics, make your releases more prestigious, and people will flock to them more readily. But they're not doing that. Yeah. I mean, this is a sign that they're going in the right direction for that. But they had misses all last year. They did day and date releases all of 2021 for their movies, so it diluted the box office on all of them. That was a mistake. I actually thought that was a good idea at first. Ended up being a huge mistake. They also they axed a bunch of other stuff. Zaslav is also the guy who, get ready for this if you didn't know, he's the one who axed CNN Plus in its third week.
Yeah.
So you can thank David Zaslav for bringing that to
my guy.
So he's very clearly he knows a failing project when he sees one.
He sure does.
What I'm saying.
CNN Plus and Batgirl. That's incredible.
But I don't understand the cutting your losses thing. If these CNN test screenings were so bad, you're either gonna lose like $100 million and by scrapping it entirely, or you're gonna lose like $50 million by releasing it on HBO Max and letting it do terribly.
They still would have had to market it, which is another $45 million.
Market it, and then to Brett.
But then that would mean they're even, at least, right?
I'm saying another. They would have to spend another $45 million, bringing the total to almost $150 million for a movie that was never. That's essentially, when you think about it. Did you ever see
if you take the most minimal approach to marketing it and then release it only on HBO Max,
I got it. You bring back.
How bad could it possibly be?
Bring back the beloved Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yes,
and you combine those two. And then you just release it into the wild.
Or they did a really bad Birds of Prey TV series on television years ago.
No way.
Oh yeah, in like 2001 or something. Like,
Combine all that, relaunch CNN Plus, put it on CNN Plus. CNN Plus becomes almost like this satirical meta comedy channel. Blows up.
That would be incredible.
Put us in charge.
But I'm saying, like, if Zaslav had been in charge before, I don't think the Birds of Prey movie would have ever come out. 2002, Dina Meyer, Ashley Scott, and I don't know. I bet you somebody in the chat watched it. I never watched it.
There's always someone in the chat who's watched.
Dina Meyer played Barbara Gordon. Dina Meyer.
Also, I know I confidently said I don't need a computer before we went on air because I don't have one today. But can someone find out who wrote this and what they wrote? Because I'm very curious about that.
Who wrote Batgirl?
Yes, the one that got scrapped.
So to me, they should. I don't know if the best idea here is to scrap it, but it is kind of unprecedented.
Well, your point.
This had J.K. Simmons in it. This was not like a cheap movie to make. He was playing her dad.
Really?
Yes.
Did you see Whiplash?
He was the Snyderverse Jim Gordon.
Right.
So they brought him in. They brought in Michael Keaton. Like they spent a lot of money on this movie. They just didn't spend. It's almost like they were in this weird middle ground where they spent the $100 million or the $70 million. They should have just spent the $200 million, made it a studio release, and go for it.
Guys,
but it proves that they never had any faith in it to begin with. The directors were the two guys who did Bad Boys for Life, which was fine.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Bad Boys for Life was great. Yeah. Bad Boys for Life was great.
I think preparing a film for release only on streaming platforms is setting it up for failure because.
Well, and Brett made a good point.
Not because of the budget, because
she wrote Bumblebee.
They all believe in the prestige of a theatrical release, and it poisons the water.
The Bumblebee trailer was good. The movie was fine. It just sounds like a studio assassin.
She did the Flash script too, so she's getting her money either way. Christina Hodson, she did the Flash script. So she's like, this movie gets canceled. Ezra's out attacking people. Can I get a break, ladies and gentlemen?
They announced like nothing at Comic-Con, and then they say Marvel announced more than a dozen films.
They might as well toss it.
And now it's like this weird space race where, like, on both ends, we're just getting like trash.
They should just throw around the new Bill Cosby comeback movie at this point.
Let's go. What does he star in? Blade?
What?
They've got Mahershala Ali playing Blade. Maybe they have like elderly Blade.
A mentor.
I'm wondering, has DC ever like thrown out a film that was completed like this before?
I don't think very many that this has ever happened. At the very least, they would have dumped it onto a streaming service to make some money back.
It must have been really bad. But honestly, if the actors got paid and it was that bad that it's not going to be released and be something people see, good for them. They got paid anyway.
There's a long history of like scrapped film ideas. There was once going to be a Nicolas Cage Superman movie.
Where he plays Nicolas Cage.
I remember that.
You can see the test screenings online. It's incredible. You can watch the test footage online.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It looks like it's shot on like a high-8 camera that like a serial killer would have to film his victims with. It's awful.
Send that to me.
Do you want to do super chats?
Okay. On that note, F off said, Brett, turn on your Instagram dark mode. Get with the times.
I'm on the computer. I don't choose any.
Do you have it on
mode.
dark mode on your phone?
Yes.
What is that? I'm so old.
You can. It's like either a white background or a black background. I have mine on light mode. I have everything on light mode.
I think mine might actually be.
Yes.
Mine might actually be
Shout out.
the time of day. Like it turns.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. There's also one more from F off above.
Oh. I approve of the co-host.
Co-host. Oh, I was
like
Cocoa Puffs, but it's like co-host.
Co-host.
Jonathan Harris said, "Don't worry, Brett. Chet will call you one day."
I haven't given him my phone number.
No, you don't even have to give him your phone number. He'll just call you.
He'll find you.
Justin Gielan said, "Chet is spitting, homie. I manifested a reward pulled at random at work today out of 26 other employees. Get on your own frequency, guys."
He actually wrote a really interesting write-up about when I hear Chet Hanks talk about frequencies, I think of like a weird bro jock version of a crystal chick.
It's like Sigma males are just like the crystal witches of TikTok.
Which, by the way, if a crystal girl who, shout out to all my exes in LA, if they said it to me, I'd be like, that's stupid. And when Chet says it to me, this is why sexism is real, guys. The patriarchy is real. Because when Chet Hanks says it to me, I'm just like,
take my money, please.
Yeah, take it all. I want abs.
Congrats on your manifestation, whatever it was.
Yeah. Jonathan Harris said, Mary's description of her phone call sounds like a modern day version of a prophet hearing from God.
The international phone call is by far the funniest thing I have ever heard in my life.
More to come, I hope. Caper2X said, "No, Chet. Mary is not a Fed. Brett is." Hi, Taylor.
Hi.
I mean, would I be I feel like if I was the Fed, if I was a Fed, I would be more offensive, like trying to like trick everyone.
You're trying to rein me in every day.
Yeah. Right. I'm not the Fed.
Carnell said, "Hail pop culture crisis and crisis actors. Let's be honest, more people found out about Batgirl yesterday than knew it was even in production."
Yeah.
Dude,
in production. The fake outrage is real.
Yeah.
Was there outrage? I mean, I didn't see I saw nothing
we
but
talked about
laughter
it
and
briefly
ambivalence.
one time before on the show.
I love superhero flicks. I really used to love when they did highlight female characters. I remember back in the 90s, my favorite Lethal Weapon was when they threw Renee Russo in. I would love when Batgirl made cameos because you're kind of like, oh, this is this rare like kick-ass girl thing. Like and then they started screwing it up. I think, was it Catwoman? That was the first. It was just so bad.
Did you watch Alias?
Oh yeah, I loved Alias.
The J.J. Abrams show with Jennifer
great.
Garner.
Yeah.
The one who's no longer married to my favorite Batman, Ben Affleck. Sorry, Dane.
Oh yeah,
he's not even my favorite.
Ben's been kicking it,
but
Ben was great.
But and he's going to be him and Michael Keaton are going to be in the Flash movie, and then Ben Affleck will also be back as Batman in Aquaman. Great. So you go. He got to marry J-Lo again, or no, sorry, for the first time he got to marry J-Lo. Now he gets to be Batman again. It's,
my man,
it's all coming up daisies.
I will always love anyone who was in those early Kevin Smith movies.
Oh yeah, Dogma.
Yeah, I'm like,
absolutely.
dude, he's great.
Yep.
Someone made me laugh in the chat. Her costume looks like a jacket from Goodwill with a bat symbol sewn on the front. Exactly.
It looks like it's supposed to be a motorcycle jacket, and they just like.
Then they also said you can't call Catwoman a woman anymore. Cat birthing person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What is a Catwoman?
Catwoman.
Alex said, "What if somehow fake evidence tied Ezra Miller to some alt-right group? I wonder if his pronouns would save him then."
Probably not.
I don't know.
My pronouns are alt-right.
He's gotten away with so much this far. C's Santos said, "If Food Fight eventually found a release date 10 years later, this movie will probably find its way to your local $1 movie bin."
Cult classic infamy, Batgirl.
I would love for that. Like, they spent years promoting the Snyder Cut and wanting to get the Snyder Cut released. They eventually got that released. Maybe we can one day see this released. That would be great. I'd be okay with it.
James Orenthal Wen said giving an ego pump to Midwest, also taking advantage of Mary reading. What?
I don't know.
I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry. Finally, holla to Taylor and Killjitsu. Killjitsu.
I like that.
Midwest.
Let's start that.
Wait, is this trying to get you to say something like when
I think
they give a name
it's
that
either
actually
that or it's gibberish, and either way, I'm not reading it. Sorry.
I remember when
I can't figure out what it's supposed to say.
Guys, let's just focus on my awesome new nickname. Can we do that? Killjitsu.
I remember
that'll be your own school.
When there was the whistleblower and everybody kept super chatting Tim with the whistleblower's name.
Oh God.
Yikes.
We won't say that. In fact, I don't remember it. And I'm not saying it.
Wow.
F off said, what I think is going to happen with the movies is cut Batwoman, take the losses, then release the Flash just to get some cash, and then file an insurance claim because of Ezra.
He's a walking claim of some sort. Like he's not.
He's a walking allegation.
He is a walking. That's what he should star in a movie as a character named The Allegation.
The Allegation. Yeah.
Waffle Sensei the Empirical said Shazam was great, objectively the best DC film to date.
And the lady who played like the foster mom is a smoke show.
Why did I hate it? I'm gonna go rewatch it because of you guys.
Great. Now Chad is gonna watch this, and you just said smoke show. Thanks a lot.
I just got us in so much trouble with Chet.
Jonathan Harris said, Jamie, dark mode is a game changer.
Ooh, okay.
You feeling dark?
Thanks, dude.
Big Dave said, first time watching the show. I usually listen to the podcast at work. Jamie, your laugh is the best.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
It was Marta Milans that's who plays Rosa Vasquez. Perfect. It's great.
All right. That's all the super chats.
All right. We are going to talk about John Boyega. I don't know if anybody here watched the new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't really care for it. I saw all of them once. I didn't get through Rise of Skywalker.
I think he's great.
He is a great actor, and he got objectively screwed in the process of that film series.
Did you
but
watch
you also weren't invested in Star Wars to begin with.
No, I was not.
Interesting.
So it says John Boyega rejects Marvel for now. He says, I want fresh ideas, and you can't top Iron Man anyways. And that's really the long and the short of it, right? Is like everyone knows, we've talked about this a lot. It's like, you know when it's organic. You know when something is actually part of the public consciousness. Nobody cares about, what were we talking about yesterday? They're like, I can't wait for Andor.
They were tweeting these things about Andor that were like extremely emotional. Like, the Disney Star Wars fans are a breed of their own. They were like, it looks like it's gonna be so raw and vulnerable. Like the plot is just so deep and meaningful. And the trailer is like a minute long. They could have done worse with the trailer for sure, but. So
he says in here, he's shutting down the rumor that he was going to be involved in Captain Marvel, in the Captain Marvel sequel called The Marvels. And he says,
he's like, don't even insult me with that.
Yeah, he says, that's not in the vision for me now, Boyega said about the Marvel movies. I want to do nuanced things. I want to donate my services to original indie films that come with new, fresh ideas, because I know it's real hard to top Iron Man in that universe. He objectively knows that you're not going to be Iron Man.
Do you think that this, I guess, Marvel's dominance, it needs to be challenged by like hipsters coming back and like people being snobs
never the
again?
Answer. Oh, yes.
Like people being film snobs again and like only making friends based on like you've seen the same obscure indie film that I have.
Marvel movie. Oh my God.
Like, can people be a little bit snobbish about their tastes again?
I think that the Eternals really was a wake-up call, because back in the day, a Marvel movie comes out, it's gonna crush, period. It's gonna crush, it's gonna have decent reviews at the worst, great reviews at the best. What's so cool about Boyega is, did you ever see Attack the Block?
I did not.
Phenomenal. And I think that was his maybe debut, or at least when people were like, who is this?
The first thing I saw him in was the 24 was using.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like.
Yeah. I mean, 24. You just got to accept how bad it is, and I've rewatched that.
The original 24 is fantastic.
It was great.
It's like they just resurrected something that didn't need to be resurrected.
I just thought it was so funny. I just called it Black 24. I was like, I'm watching Black 24, and it was so fun.
It was called Live Another Day.
It was, but it was called Black 24. And so what's so cool about this is, one, it could be so easy for him to take a paycheck.
Yep.
Two, the fact that he said, like, I want to use my voice to lift up movies that wouldn't be heard either. But three, it's so easy. So many people take this get off my lawn approach to movie making, where it's movie going, where it's like, all these people, they just do reboots and blah 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 blah. But
that's me.
Yeah, Hannah Claire.
That's a lot of people.
Yep.
But they never offer up solutions or new and original.
But it's not the moviegoer's job to offer up a
totally.
solution.
Again, so I agree with you, though. Like, I don't disagree with you. But what I'm saying is, it is nice to see somebody step up, like, with power and, like, speak for people who feel that way and just be like, I'm not going to partake in this. I want to help original movies. Because, look, there are ways you can do remakes, 21 Jump Street being a great example, that are original and clever and flip the idea on their head or whatever. Like, you can do it. You can make it good. But I think the majority of people agree with you, Mary, as like I do. I want to see original ideas.
Josh Hartnett did that when he was on his way to mainstream success early in his career, and then seemed to veer off into the mostly indie realm. He talks here about his agent talks here, says his goal as an actor has always been to disrupt the industry and also to make history.
It would have been funny if his agent was like, I don't know what John's talking about.
But we've got him lined up for the next
Captain Marvel.
6 Marvel movies.
His agent just like looking at like the paycheck he would be getting if he went to
He's
do
like
a Marvel
sweating
movie. He's like,
bullets,
dude,
like,
come on.
please.
Yeah.
And he says
his statement is, to my wife and family, I'm sorry I let you down.
For John, it was never about trying to fit in that box. He wants to be the outline of the box. Boyega has purposely avoided playing enslaved people and drug dealers on screen in order to disrupt the system for black performers. I now imagine all old white dudes being like, I will not play
What's
CEOs
the reasoning
anymore.
behind that?
Remember Keke Palmer said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I won't play stereotypical.
No,
black
she said
roles.
she just not that she won't play stereotypical roles for her race, but that she will not play villainous roles.
Yeah. So
that is not anything to do with race. That's just about her not having range.
It's also there's a lot of like it's
I
not
don't
privilege,
agree with
but that takes balls to like limit yourself. That
and she
heavily.
limits herself by being hard to work with,
Yeah.
as we know from her incident with Bill Murray. Like, if you're hard to work with, then no one wants to cast you anyways.
Also, let's face it. When John Boyega talks about not wanting to do Marvel, what he's really saying is, I don't want to do Disney because Disney nerfed him in Star Wars and then shrunk his picture on the poster.
It's personal.
So that they could release the movie in China. Like
Interesting.
maybe he just doesn't want to be insulted.
That's also cool.
By Marvel anymore.
That's also awesome. I mean, dude, in a world of sellouts, you see someone cool do something like this and you go, yep, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But also, I wish he would speak out about that in particular.
Yeah.
Well, he has. He spoke out about like feeling like he was hard done by Star Wars and stuff like that. But
don't make it seem like it's artistic, if you feel slighted.
So it says joining Marvel would give Boyega his second Disney-backed franchise following his role as Finn. He should have been the main character in the sequel trilogy, not Daisy Ridley.
Yes.
Is this like one of those things? Like, do you think that a lot of like it's kind of a place of not privilege, but like to be able to like it speaks to his like talent and his marketability that he can be that picky.
Yeah.
At such a young age. Like, he's not very old. As far as I know, he's still quite young.
No, well, that's what's awesome. He could do whatever he wants. He could be a sellout, and by the way, he'd probably still make it work.
But he's
if
putting
you're
his
highly
money...
sought after, you get to sort of become a tastemaker in the industry.
But also, a lot of people who are highly sought after just kind of spent years selling out and doing whatever they were told and
beforehand.
Bootlicking.
There's a great honest trailer for like the Taken franchise.
Yeah.
And it says they show all these roles that Liam Neeson before. It says now this starring the movie that finally paid for Liam Neeson's kids' college funds. Like, because he was in Schindler's List. He's in all these movies, and he finally made his money through the Taken franchise.
Right. And now every character he plays is a version of that.
I saw Blacklight or whatever it was, or whatever that last one was. It was bad.
It looked really bad. But I like Taken again for all the wrong reasons.
I love that first Taken. I love
the
how
first one and the third one were fun.
I love how not of a teenager what's that actress's name? She's like, they're like, she's 16. I'm like 36 maybe.
Yeah.
Like she's not.
Well, that's how it always is.
But
casting teenagers.
In this case, she doesn't even look 16. She's like, she doesn't look early 20s. She looks like she's in her late 20s.
It's not fooling anybody?
No, it wasn't fooling anyone. In fact, now I gotta. What's her name? Somebody in the chat.
Was she the one from Lost? Who was in Lost too?
Maggie Grace.
Yeah,
Maggie Grace.
she was.
She's like, even in the first one, she's like, and also they're like, it proved how out of touch the writers were, because she's like, I'm going to follow you two around Europe. I'm like, no 16-year-old
no.
in the 2010s is going to follow you two around anywhere.
Guys, I remember, again, this is going to sound like old progressive Jamie coming out. Take in mind, I love Taken. I've seen it several times. Taken 3, fantastic. The only reason I didn't like Taken 2 was there weren't enough fights. Taken 1 was clearly written by a angry, divorced dad who was just like, because you remember, like, the stepdad was this evil, rich guy, and nobody wanted to talk to Liam Neeson, and his dumb daughter if she just listened to him, and his dumb wife if she just listened to him.
But
hey, you leave Famke Janssen
if
alone.
like there's an audience that wants to cathartically watch.
Oh yeah, it was
that,
me,
you
an
know?
angry divorced guy, for the record.
Well, I mean,
was Jamie.
without the kid.
Oh yeah.
Jamie's not complaining. He's like, it was amazing.
Yeah, to be clear, it was great.
Yeah.
But let's all admit who wrote that movie. Where he was just like, this stupid idiot if she listened to me.
There was also something the other day about, like, I was reading a comment section and they said, why is it that Russians are never the bad guys in movies anymore? I'm like, Russians have been the go-to bad guys in movies for like the last
Top Gun Maverick.
They're like the last 15 years they have been the bad. In every John Wick movie, it's an angry Russian guy.
Yeah.
No, like it's like they're always the go-to bad guys.
That's
because
silly.
because it's okay to beat up Russian people. That's because nobody cares about Putin.
Because Russian people don't have souls, and gingers
also,
don't have souls,
and they
right?
don't care about us. Like they're like Putin.
I'm sure they're not hurt by it.
Putin legalized piracy just because they stopped releasing movies and stuff over there.
So based. I'm sorry, that's based.
Yes, he's
That's
just
great.
like, oh, you're not going to give us your movies. We're going to
We'll take
them
crimes.
anyways. Yes, yeah. That's
Do
it.
I like Putin? That is a funny move.
So,
I'm just saying, like, he has his bright spots.
Yeah.
So
Riding shirtless on a horse and the piracy thing.
John Boyega is clearly like, I kind of like the idea of young actors. Like, don't complain about the roles you're getting. Put your money where your mouth is, and don't take a role if you don't feel like. I hate it when they take the role, they do the role, and then later down the line they complain about having to do it. Right? Like, I never hear Denzel Washington complain about all the roles he's played. And my second favorite movie of all time is American Gangster, in which he plays a drug kingpin. But I also love Man on Fire and all these other things. He's a Training Day where he's a corrupt cop. You never hear him saying like, "Oh, I'm really worried about." He understands that what he's doing is an art form.
Wait, very important question. Should I watch Man on Fire again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I liked him in The Equalizer, which is kind of similar character. But I remember I saw Man on Fire in the theater, and it was when all those bad Punishers were coming out before the Netflix series, and I love Punisher, and I was kind of like, ooh, this is sort of how I feel like Punisher should have been. But then I never rewatched it.
My mom. Or Taking of Pelham 123.
That I didn't see.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
He's fantastic. So like you never hear him complaining about doing these because he's done all of these diverse roles. And you never hear him complaining about what that meant. He just knows that what he's doing is creating art.
Was the "Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is"? Was that the acting thing you said you liked?
He's passing on millions and millions of dollars because he wants to do stuff that he feels is important to him. I make fun of the art nerd aspect of Hollywood all the time, where they pretend like they're doing something great for society, but really it's a money industry.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I mean, the opportunities to blow up on your own without studio backing are so big now that it is more possible because
I don't know. It's an oversaturation.
Well,
like you kind of gotta wait to get picked.
Well, compared to like in the 1990s, you had to take whatever was offered to you, or else like, what are you gonna do? And by the way, I'm not even talking about TikTok or podcasts or anything like that, but just being able to, you look at the Duplass brothers before they went to Sundance, they just made an indie film in Austin by themselves with their own money, got into Sundance, and now are like two of the most sought after like writer directors. And they did it with their friends, and they did it with handheld or I think they actually did it with an iPhone. And so you can make short films, you can put it out there, because it's easy to look at what Boyega said and been like, well, it's easy for you to say you're rich and famous. But if more young actors said no to garbage parts, maybe there'd be less garbage.
Or maybe
you said it's a money industry, and that's true. But to people for whom money is no object, then I think it's fair to expect that they should only pick or take roles that actually speak to them, that they think are fresh or artistically like aligned with what they want to play.
Yeah, like what's wrong with Robert De Niro? At that, like when Bad Grandpa started, it was like, bro, you were one of the most respected actors in the world. You're so rich. Why are you still making insane movies?
But it's also, it could just be like they're also allowed to have fun.
I get it. Like you don't take it that seriously.
Yeah, he's allowed to have fun.
You can do both, right? Like throw your weight around a little bit. I think that's a fair ask for some of these actors.
Also, it's fair to point out that he did already make Star Wars, so he's made money. It's not like he's not saying this while not having made any money.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying.
I think different actors will view it different. Like some people, it's just a role, and they see it's within their range, and they can nail it. And other people don't want to be portrayed in a stereotypical sense for their own personal reasons. I think like it's up to each individual. It's their prerogative.
I feel like that's a product of the newer generation.
It's not something.
I don't think that level of like self. I don't know what the term would be. I don't think that level of self-consciousness about the social aspect of it would have been present in the 80s and in the 70s.
Totally.
And 80s,
like why does Ana de Armas think it's groundbreaking to be casted as Marilyn Monroe because she's Cuban? I don't think an actress like 20 years ago would have said anything remotely like that.
And
because they weren't allowed to talk.
In 2000, yeah, sure.
She's another example of organic stardom now too. Her name is thrown around and everyone knows who she is.
Her, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Margot Robbie. I think I cap it there.
Margot Robbie.
Those are people where whenever I read these articles, that's what I do all day. I read articles about they're like, oh my god, this groundbreaking role that this person played. I'm like, I don't know who that is, and I read the stuff all day long. You're lying. You're legit. You're not just you're malicious.
Nothing is groundbreaking anymore. Nothing is actually. There's nothing as like underground anymore, and there's nothing that everyone likes anymore. We're so split up. And I'm going to call for snobbery to make a return again.
Call it snobbery. Don't call it hipster. Because you call it hipster and you think of just like...
Same difference.
Hipsters
10
died.
years ago.
Snobs.
No.
Hipsters died when none of them had the balls to wear...
Hipsters were unabashed elitists.
They never had the guts to wear a
hipsters still a thing?
They never had the guts to wear a Make
Are there
America
people
Great
who call themselves hipsters still?
Ironically.
None of them wore a Make America Great Again hat.
That would have been the super hipster. You would have gotten the most hipster. Oh, that would have been the best. If they just walked around like, what are your 3 favorite Trump speeches?
MAGA hipsters.
That would be amazing.
You're not even a real Trump.
What year did The Apprentice come out?
Right.
No, that's a real thing. Like purity spiraling, but let's use that to let's use like purity spiraling and elitism to remedy the film industry.
If we can't save politics, we will save the film industry.
I love it. I love that.
It's just super chats.
Hobbit said Disney Star Wars fans are brainwashed or blackmailed. How are they blackmailed? I agree that they're brainwashed.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh. Well.
That was it.
Charles Fritz said, do y'all think Disney will ever make a good decision and give us a Tron 3, preferably with no wokeness in it?
Nope.
#Flynn lives.
There was something just
all I remember from Tron is that people only watched it for how it looked like Avatar, and that was good enough for me at the time.
Guys, I stayed strong.
No, not great plot-wise.
I think it's sad that Disney's gone woke.
Well, yeah.
Because, like, we all grew up on Disney.
Are you going to be happy about it?
Give us back Ariel
it's
giving
just sad
up her voice
it's
for
such
a
a nostalgic thing for so many people.
It's the nostalgia that they weaponize intentionally.
There was a rumor of Tron 3 with Jared Leto from Garth Davis. I remember this. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. And let's be fair, if Disney's making it, no, it's not going to.
When did I start hating Jared Leto and Jake Gyllenhaal? I used to like Jake Gyllenhaal because I grew up on Donnie Darko. And then I angrily sent it to you, and no one responded to me. That their remake. Speaking of bad remakes, Mary, Roadhouse with Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal.
What?
Yuck.
So random.
That's
Let's
it.
go.
Yuck. Roadhouse is. I posted a tweet that kind of blew up. I went on a date, and when I got to the bar, this is in Los Angeles last week. The bartender outside, who was this like jacked, good-looking dude, was stretching, and he had his leg up on the railing like an intense stretch. And I go, "Hey man, are we getting ready for like a Roadhouse situation?" And he just goes, "I don't know what that means. You shouldn't be allowed to be a bartender. You should be fired. I don't care if you know how to make a drink. Talk to me about Roadhouse."
Did he? Were you like Sam Elliott, Patrick Swayze?
Doesn't matter. He was a lost cause. Stupid LA. I hate LA.
Jonathan Harris said, what does that mean?
Mary's just rage. Oh,
I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how to correct
There's a
what you
typo.
typed.
guys, can I get super chat money for saying that I stayed
Oh,
strong?
I
I think it
remember-
might be remembered.
All right,
Okay.
okay. Get money.
I'm sorry. I remember being so excited for John's character in Star Wars and being so disappointed he didn't get a good fleshed out character. I've never
That's a
seen
great point.
an MC he sidelined so hard.
It was kind of. I mean, also it's one of those things where Daisy Ridley, who's not by any means a bad actress,
she's good,
but it was so blatant. And at that time, everyone was already. I mean, by the second movie, everyone was already angry with Kathleen Kennedy. It was never going to work, and then when they shrunk him on the poster, and then they shrunk Black Panther on the poster. Anyone paying attention to the industry is like,
funny.
how is this not more? How do more normies not know this stuff is going on?
I
But
didn't
you forget
know.
that you're in a bubble. Like, I mean, I always have to point out to people, like, whether you believe you are or not, you're in your own, because your phone and your computers are algorithmically designed. You create your own bubble without even realizing it. You can say whatever you want about where you get your information, but your views are
Correct.
going to reinforce the information. And most of the people who I know just aren't going to know that this stuff is happening at Disney because they don't care. Like, none of them, I was pointing out, like, we were talking about The Little Mermaid being, that the Halle Bailey, or whatever her name, is that her name, Halle Bailey?
Yeah.
Is playing the Little Mermaid, and like, they don't know, they don't care. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever. They don't care.
Caper2X said, Mary, the problem is not Marvel, but Disney. Make mine Marvel.
I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know if I buy that the executives at Marvel are they're any better. I don't know if he's talking about Marvel Comics or Marvel
But
Film
he's just going to be
Division.
dogmatically Marvel no matter what.
He
so,
loves his Marvel.
yeah.
That's fine.
Also, Caleb South, I kind of don't want to read that. Sorry. Jonathan Harris said, get DC to grab Boyega and make a new Green Lantern.
Yeah, Stuart.
Whoa.
Yeah, they can do that.
That would be cool.
I don't know if they seem to have a real hard time committing to putting Green. It's like literally Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern was so bad that they refused to really give it another go. And Green Lantern is a character that has a lot of name recognition.
Yeah.
Given that, like, a lot of normies who have never read a comic book in their life know that Green Lantern is a thing.
By the way, I remember people, at least like in my circle, I don't know if like publicly, but I remember people blaming Ryan Reynolds on that, and then Deadpool went and they snagged him up, and he became like
but he fits Deadpool. He doesn't fit Green Lantern.
for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying about like DC can just take good things and make them bad.
They do seem to be very good at that.
Charles Fritz said, my favorite Liam Neeson is comedy Liam Neeson, like in High Spirits or as Darkman.
Ooh, who's Darkman? Yep.
Waffles Sensei, the Empirical, said, if you want an idea about how the OG Star Wars fan base feels about the new trilogy, just look at a compilation of Mark Hamill talking trash on the films.
I mean, I go back and forth on Hamill because he's so riddled with TDS, but then he's also so based when it comes to Star Wars that it's like it's really funny. Like, yeah.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce this username. Sorry. He said, make it rain.
Yep.
Crisis money.
I don't know if that's
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waffle Sensei, the Empirical, said, Brett is right. Finn should have been the main character in the trilogy. That's what they advertised to us, but then they ruined his character.
Yep. Like I said, I only saw the first two once each, and I couldn't even get through Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
So.
Bad up, I'm not reading that. Gross John said, Tim Pool really likes The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Is that movie good?
I've only seen The Patriot once, and I remember almost none of it. I am a bigger fan of Dances with Wolves.
I'm a bigger fan of Lethal Weapon.
Yep. Perfect.
Hobbit said, YouTube won't let me SC.
Super chat.
Oh, super chat the word for Northern Asians.
Well, Hobbit, that is, YouTube finds that offensive, so.
Joseph said, Hollywood is cancer, learn to swim, change my mind.
And touch grass.
There you go.
Learn to swim and touch grass. Dinah Fash said Jim Carrey, when he was younger, should have done a remake of Gomer Pyle.
Oh my God. If Jim Carrey retires, it will be a net loss for Hollywood.
Humanity.
He's a weirdo. He's always been a weirdo.
I mean, he kind of has. Right?
But he said he's going to retire after Sonic 2. I would invite him back for all the Sonic movies because I loved both of the Sonic movies. And as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't say no to an Ace Ventura 3.
Ace Ventura
Where are
3
young actors that
would
can do
kill.
that, like body language acting?
It felt like Chris Evans was trying to do that in the Gray Man and failing.
A little bit, yeah.
He looks like Pinocchio.
If you don't nail it, it doesn't work at all.
Physical comedy is very, very difficult.
I think we learned Chris Evans, less comedy. Ryan Gosling, more comedy, more action. Because Ryan Gosling killed it in that movie.
There was
Gray Man?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Wesley thought it was all right too.
I don't know how you can kill it in something as mediocre as Gray Man.
Because he's hot and he's doing martial arts. That's all Ryan Gosling.
Okay,
needs to
so
do.
you were just attracted to him.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
The actor claimed.
I don't even know if Drive was good. Same deal.
Yeah.
F off said, I loved Ryan's Green Lantern. Well,
What was the Green Lantern that Seth Rogen wrote or directed?
That was Green Hornet.
Oh, Green Hornet.
It's unpopular.
Yeah. Never mind.
Never saw it. Just
Also,
know that he wrote it.
I think I saw it and I was like, that was okay, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Caper2X said for Jamie's help, I'm Brett's hostage fund.
Perfect. Also,
Only $2.
You know what else we couldn't
Hey
get
man,
made? You know what else?
any help?
What we couldn't get now is a Kick-Ass 3.
Oh yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz and
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
Kick-Ass was cool.
That first
Yeah.
one, I believe, was offensive.
Yeah.
Is that why? Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
yeah, I did.
Was
I don't
it?
think they. Well, Chloe
It was
Grace
just
Moretz,
super edgy.
She would. Yeah, it was pretty edgy. She wouldn't make that movie now, but she's also an adult.
I miss
so.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yep.
Was the second one good? I don't think it was, right?
I don't
remember.
don't even remember the first one.
I like Mark Millar as like a comic writer.
Yeah, dude.
Is Preacher still on?
No.
Preacher was one of my favorite comic books. I grew up on it. I wanted it to be good so bad. I like Seth Rogen.
Dominic, what's the guy who played him is.
And I just remembered just like not caring at all.
Well, it was like what was the other one that came out at that
that's
time?
Garth Ennis, not Mark Millar.
What was the other one that came out at that time about the asylum with the X-Men characters?
Oh yeah,
I-
same deal. And then Why Last Man Standing? I really like the comic.
That was never going to work.
No,
and you know,
I know. No,
explain to these ladies the premise of that show.
It's the comic, which I remember liking by Brian K. Vaughan. There is one man left on Earth, and he has a little monkey, and that's the premise.
But the
That's it.
show,
Well, I don't remember.
yeah, bad.
Say it. Oh yeah, it was terrible. I mean, I made it through like the first 10 minutes.
It could work.
It was
right?
It did no, not in today's. No writer today could pull that off. It was about the women in the show. It was not about the.
Oh.
It was Dominic Cooper. That's who was in Preacher. Seth Rogen was one of the creators on that too.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, like I should have liked it, and I did not.
And the other one was Legion. That was the one that.
Right. I
I
heard that was good, and then I didn't care.
think there's one more there.
Waffle Sensei the Empirical said Dances with Wolves is better, but Patriot is amazing. Must watch. Tim should fire you all for not watching.
Oh, interesting.
That's a little extreme, dude.
You know,
Wow.
can we cut that part out?
Frankly, I'm a little insulted. I've seen it. It's just, but still, that's very rude. That's very rude. All right, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna, like I said, every episode needs a layup every once in a while. Who thinks that it will be very difficult to talk about Demi Lovato explains why she started using she/her pronouns again, adding them to her growing list.
Well, it's gonna be very difficult, Brett, because I don't know what to call her without
Permission
getting
to
in
go
trouble.
off?
Oh, yeah.
Permission granted.
Permission granted. Let me brief you guys. So last year in May of 2021, Demi Lovato on her Irrelevant podcast, 4D with Demi Lovato.
She has a podcast?
I know, right?
They'll just give anyone a
They'll
podcast.
just be giving it to anyone.
I bet
these
she hasn't
days.
seen The Patriot either.
She probably likes
She-
Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern.
Yuck.
She officially announced last year that she was going to start identifying as non-binary and going by they them pronouns.
I was like, I know. I saw the haircut. I'm like, you don't have to tell us that.
And at the time, she said that it best fit the fluidity of her gender expression. And she asked everyone to use they them pronouns, and she made sure to say that it's just what feels right to her, and no worries if you accidentally mess up her pronouns.
Which is fine.
That's a cool thing to
That's-
say. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that. I'm
So
looking
like it wasn't anything inflammatory or like vindictive at the time, but I it was just interesting how confident she seemed in announcing it at the time. She said, "Over the past year and a half, I've been doing some healing and self-reflective work, and through this work, I've had the revelation that I identify as non-binary. And with that said, I'll be officially changing my pronouns to they, them."
I love that she made it. Like, she
Officially.
literally had a publicist announcement of this.
Yeah.
And
Do it in front of
I
the White
think
House.
this came after that documentary about her life that she posted to YouTube in, I think it was 2018. I watched that, and it was following her drug overdose where she almost died. And a lot of eyes were on her at the time, and she was just, in that documentary, just expressing a lot of her anger and recalling just what a bitter, angry, and disconnected person she was when she was still at Disney. So I think what she was talking about with that like self-reflective work was post that explainer documentary actually processing what's happened to her. And I gotta say, like, I don't think she's done doing that healing with this news that she's reverted back to she, her pronouns. And
Well, she's not just reverted back. She's added them to they that. So she will
did
use
she
them.
say that? Because
Yeah.
I thought she said,
So
I'm
at
adopting
first
she, her
that,
back.
At first that, and then it came out what Brett said. That
Okay, so she had to like clarify.
she has a lot of pronouns.
She's
Can
collecting
you,
them.
Can you just keep adding them like Pokemon?
To be
I guess
fair,
so.
the whole Disney to downward spiral
Well,
pipeline is
obviously,
really
yeah.
sad, but
It's like
yeah.
this is a former
What's-
child
what's it
star
gonna be next year?
who has identity issues.
Yep.
Big whoop. I mean,
that's
I don't
not too
know
surprising.
if this is very unique in terms of
Man,
former
well,
child stars, especially Disney kids.
What Taylor said actually kind of made me start to feel bad, where Hollywood is so weird. And being a star from that age is so weird. And, like, I have seen celebrities who are known for being train wrecks around their people, quote unquote, their agents, their publicists, and these people are the monsters. These people are the demons. These are the people that are saying yes to all of these terrible things that are pushing them to make decisions that maybe they don't want to do. And just the thought of, whether you want your pronouns changed or not, the thought of being in a place where you owe the world and Twitter an explanation of like how you're identifying, when really you're just trying to like find a way to heal yourself, which should be something you do in private. Like, you shouldn't be influenced by Twitter or society or an agent. You don't owe it to anyone but your loved ones, or maybe a therapist. Like, it's awful that people get put in these
Thank you.
circumstances.
I also wonder sometimes if people who go through the whole process of transitioning like it when people don't really do much to change the way they're appearing, but change their pronouns and take on this identity.
Oh, yeah, she
and
didn't
try
even
to
slightly
put it
change
under the
her
same umbrella
appearance.
as transitioning.
Yeah, and I don't think she did claim it was like a transition as much as it was just how she wants other people to interact with her, which I don't know how I feel about it, because that's focused on the world around you and not on yourself. I wanted to read this more recent quote from her, like announcing that she's taking back her pronouns. She said, "For me, I'm such a fluid person that I felt like, especially last year, my energy was balanced in my masculine and feminine energy, so that when I was faced with the choice of walking into a bathroom and it said women and men, I didn't feel like there was a bathroom for me because I didn't feel necessarily like a woman."
How long ago was this?
This was recent.
Okay.
"I didn't feel like a man. I just felt like a human. That's what they, them is about for me. It's just about feeling human at your core."
They need to just put biological on those signs.
But, like, this is what I hate
That would
about
eliminate some of the confusion.
the appearance of a self-reflective statement that is actually not self-reflective at all. It's like, can we inquire into why you don't feel like a woman anymore after your looks and your identity have been exploited for over a decade?
Don't feel like a woman according to who or what?
Oh, that's interesting. Mary, are you saying kind of like if you're seen as a female sex symbol for so long and that starts to hurt you, maybe this is just your way to like rebel?
Yeah, and not just a sex symbol, but just like women are treated differently in the entertainment industry, and it's a lot of pressure to have to feel a certain way, look a certain way all the time. And, you know, it's not that hard to inquire, like even scratch the surface of that question. Like, why don't I feel comfortable being a woman anymore when I used to?
I've seen a lot of women, even like in the skateboarding community, who now go by the they them pronouns, and I feel like sometimes it's like an attack on tomboys too, that they feel like they're not feminine or they can't be women.
Reducing femininity to the surface level
Like
aspects, like painting your nails and doing your hair, like that's. And I think when your career and your life is entirely image based, that's what you are convinced of after a while.
So should we start like for the people that have trouble with stuff like this? Maybe the first thing you have to do with any conversation is to clarify when talking to someone, mentioning these things. Say, when I talk about pronouns and gender, am I talking about biological sex or gender identity? And then clarify that first, so that there's one less thing to be confused about when having these discussions with people.
I disagree.
No, I'm asking. I'm saying, is that the step forward?
Like, that's not the step forward. Because
it's not reasonable. It's not logical. But there is no reason and logic in any of this.
I think so many people are trying to equate the two now that.
Well, everything she's saying is about how people are supposed to address her and talk about her, and not how she feels or lives. Like, this has nothing to do with her lifestyle, her appearance. This is about other people's speech about her and to her.
Which is why I've always said that it is a weird form of soft censorship to be able to control how people talk about you through social enforcement.
I understand why she feels like she has no control, though. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, I'm not totally lacking sympathy for where she's at. Like, if you don't want to be referred to as like with feminine pronouns anymore, I just wish that there was even a hint of like self-reflection about that, rather than just looking for the instantaneous solution of telling everyone else what they should say.
Well, and again, we don't know, right? Because this could be where her people came in. This could be where imagine being an actress and venting this like desperately, like, I'm having these identity issues, I don't know how I feel.
They're like, we've come up with the perfect solution.
Yep.
And it'll promote your podcast.
Yep, 100%. And then you go, well, that does kind of make sense. I don't feel like a girl, and I don't feel like okay, like maybe that is it. And then years later you go, can we just add she, her back? Because now I'm even more confused. Like, you don't know, man. Hollywood is so evil like that.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise she wouldn't be in the news.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks too, because I know that she is like authentically talented.
I think that she's a pretty talented singer.
She's not at full capacity. Like, she's not doing what she could be doing, and I think it's because she has too many middlemen trying to control her public image. And
also with like recovering from addiction issues, I feel like that's probably a major setback. She hasn't had the chance to recover on her own, and being in this since she was a child, hasn't had
the opportunity to form her own identity.
And actually, like, by just talking
That's
about...
interesting. Hasn't formed an identity thought.
Yeah, because by just talking about the pronouns, it's sort of reductive, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
reducing her down to that when, yeah, Taylor, I totally forgot about the drug stuff. And it's like, oh, this is a woman who just, like, needs help.
Mm-hmm.
And all we're talking about is, well, how do you refer to her? It's like, that's the least
And that's what I feel all she can talk about, because it's like
'Cause that becomes
displacing
the story.
my extreme discomfort with myself at the most fundamental level onto these words that people in the press use to talk about me.
Right.
There's also, I want to point out that when I went to look up the articles, right? So as soon as she added her pronouns back to her writing, all the articles are
They
now
changed
referring
it
to
back even
No,
retroactively.
the old ones are they, them.
Okay.
But now, like, they're immediately like, oh, thank God, I can write it like a normal article now.
Yeah.
Like I was looking through this and they're all,
Wait, are they gonna all have to go back and switch the they them
no,
now
because
so they're not?
she's accepting
misread?
both now. She's like,
But-
it's like
Okay.
MasterCard and Visa, and like she'll
if
take,
she had been switching from she,
Thank
they,
God she's not Amex or Discover.
if she had been
American
switching from
Express.
she to they in this new announcement, then they would have to retroactively go to the she or articles
Yeah.
and change to
Like
they.
you see
but
with-
not the other way around.
With actors who transition and then roles they did pre-transition, you're like
Yeah.
not allowed to remember that they
Like,
were
yeah, Elliot
not
Page.
transitioned.
Elliot Page.
That's perfect
Exactly.
example.
And that's another example where Elliot Page has publicly commented on like how deeply uncomfortable I don't want to say the wrong pronoun or like get in trouble on YouTube, but like during the premiere of Juno, Elliot Page commented that like they forced her to wear like a dress and heels and makeup and do her hair and all of this stuff, and it was like this movie about a teen mom.
Yeah.
And
it's like with what's
you
her
can
name that
imagine
you're-
why that would make someone uncomfortable
Right,
with their femininity,
Trans or not, that's going to make...
regardless of anything.
The actress from what was it we reviewed recently from America, Xochitl Gomez. Like, we're like, why are they making this 15-year-old girl?
Yeah, it's
look like
about
a hooker?
aging too.
Yeah,
like aging people up, aging people down. Like you can never not be like negated as a person.
There's
in that
also
industry.
they talk. She talks about how.
Thank you.
Xochitl Gomez talked about how like playing that role. What was it? It was like she felt like it was coming of age, like a great story for young girls. But then she doesn't look like a young girl.
Then she promotes
at the
it
premiere,
looking like a
an
woman
adult.
in her 30s.
And then Elliot Page talks about how Elliot Page felt like really, really free the first time, got to wear like a suit to a premiere, not have to wear a dress. So,
but it's like I'm freeing myself from the expectation to be this thing, but also like I don't know if that like escaping that expectation didn't require as much self-reflection as
being okay with the expectation,
as just being neutral to other people's opinions about you,
which is very, very hard to do.
I know that.
It is very, very like I do not discount like for Demi Lovato, for any of these people. We make jokes and I certainly take my jabs at celebrities, but I understand that it is very hard to have to hear outward perspectives on your life all the time, and that can't be easy. So for that, I have all the sympathy in the world, especially like you said, going through what she went through with her addiction, just the general trauma of having to grow up with Disney as your parent, basically.
I love that.
Like
Brett,
we've seen the theme of many stars coming out of Disney after being child stars and things going downhill.
not
for
Timberlake. That dude nailed it.
Yep.
Nailed it. I love that Brett started off with, this is a real layup of a story. And now by the end of it, we're all like, man, mental health is hard.
But another thing that I don't want to like brush past is I think this announcement might also be too convenient PR wise, because
Does she have
I
another
look
project coming
at
out?
Demi Lovato's Twitter and it's all promotion of this new music video for her song Substance, where she's like lighting dynamite on a motorcycle with Paris Hilton.
Hell
It's
yeah.
interesting timing.
I'm just saying, like,
Dynamite on a motorcycle. That sounds
that's why
cool.
I know that she has an album coming out.
That's
Right.
not as
True.
ghoulish as the women who make their claims about like stuff that happened to them 20 years ago in Hollywood. It's like, by the way, I'm promoting my book. I'm like,
Oh no.
Yeah.
I
I saw one of those books today at the bookstore.
Your
and
book
it
that you
was-
can't put out because there's a paper shortage.
Will we ever get Britney Spears' book written in crayon?
Come on.
Never.
Never. All right, let's do some super chats.
Okay. We've got F off. We got some prawn bots in chat, boys. Woohoo.
We got to go farther back up, but good for prawn bots.
Well, I mean, no, but...
Charles Fritz.
Oh. Chloe Moretz committed career suicide when she signed on to do Louis C.K.'s weird and controversial I Love You Daddy film that was never released.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot about that.
Wait, what was that? I didn't hear about that.
It was Louis' first attempt at a comeback. Which, by the way, Louis actually just wrote and directed a movie called 4th of July that I really want to see with the comedian Joe List, which apparently did great.
He just had some stuff with Andrew Schultz at an event.
Well, that's why he started doing podcasts again, is he wanted to promote 4th of July because he hadn't done any podcasts since the controversy. He hadn't done Rogan's, and now he's been going on a bunch. He went on Shane Gillis's, and they didn't talk about the controversy at all. They only talked about every president that the United States has ever had. It was awesome. Like, also, these guys know so much about history. It literally was Shane Gillis and Louis C.K. for 6 hours talking about giving the history of presidents, and it was so good and so funny. But yeah, 4th of July I really want to see. And actually, he just bought the rights back to the show Louis, which was really like critically acclaimed on FX. And they did they did sort of him and my friend Bobby Kelly went through some of the highlights and talked about the writing process on YouTube. And now he bought it back from, I think it was Netflix that got rid of it. And you can get it on his website, on louisck.com, awesome. Which is really cool. And I watching those clips, I remembered how good of a writer he is and how innovative and weird he is. Like, that show was great.
Well, what was this attempt at a comeback that they were referring to?
It was his first attempt, and it was a movie, and apparently the movie was
he's released a comedy
shady.
special since then, and he's back doing...
It was bad?
Stand up.
He's doing fine again.
Yeah. But no, apparently the movie was just like, it was about
do you not know about what happens to Louis C.K.? Why don't you tell her?
No,
Jamie?
what?
Oh, you don't know that Louis C.K. got canceled?
I know that he got canceled. I'm asking about the film.
That's what I thought. Okay,
yeah.
Thank God I asked her, or else I would have been like...
Back with the
you
film,
don't have to explain
but
that part.
I'd be like, all right, he's in a hotel room.
No. Well, what was the film about?
We can look it up.
Did you guys watch it?
The titles
never
already
came out.
concerning.
Nobody watched it.
Nobody.
You
Oh,
weren't
okay.
allowed to
I just
watch
thought you guys had both seen it.
No.
I was
It
like,
got
well, what was
scrapped
it
like the
what was so
DC
bad about
Batgirl.
it?
Yeah, you know, me and Brett, the
exactly.
first time we hung out, decided to watch a sexy Louis C.K. film. Just two guys hanging out
I
on
just wear a
beanbag
shirt that
chairs.
says sexy Louis C.K.
I wore a sexy Woody Allen shirt.
Perfect.
James Orenthal Wen said Demi was non-binary, just like Lil Nas X was gay.
Hey, Lil Uzi Vert.
He's still gay though.
Lil Uzi Vert's they them now too, non-binary.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He also has a diamond implanted in his forehead.
Yes, he does.
So everyone wants to be unique, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Waffle Sensei, the Empirical, says suspicious timing to change back to a she right after Matt Walsh's "What Is It Woman" just came out recently.
I love the idea.
I don't think she has any clue who Matt Walsh is.
I love the idea that
she
she sits at home and watches the Daily
Daily Wire
all day.
subscription.
like all she does is she's got the Roku. Is that
You know what?
Yeah.
They should release Batgirl on the Daily Wire.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
They de-wokeify it.
Like,
and then
yeah, Daily Wire non-woke superhero movies.
They would never be able to.
Coming
They'd never be
soon.
able to get the rights to a DC property.
They'd have to create their own superheroes.
Demi, they did. They had that one movie that got advertised. I don't remember the name of it now. The
Gina Carano one?
No, the one after that. Somebody in the chat would know. But also, I do love I love the idea that Demi Lovato just loves Ben Shapiro.
That's so funny.
Like, she just sits at home and listens to Ben.
That's why
Shapiro
her PR
and
people are
and Michael
just-
Knowles.
And
all
she
day.
can't talk about it.
And she can't talk. She feels very closeted.
She's like, I really want to tweet about Michael Knowles. They're like, no. What if you just come out as trans?
Jonathan Harris said, "Dang, that pic gives Demi 'let me speak to your manager' vibes." Didn't she already have a 'let me speak to your manager' moment with the
I remember this.
earlier?
the sugar-free ice
snacks.
cream,
Oh,
or
no.
like the sugar-free
Some
yogurt.
of us are not.
I do
yet.
not remember that.
The frozen yogurt incident. Of,
I stuck up
what
for
was
her
that,
because
Because there
last
was
year?
like diet type of advertised
And she was like,
foods
"You
there.
can't even advertise that you have low sugar.
She
You get
seems like
frozen yogurt.
fatphobic or-
That's
or-
so."
It was triggering.
She said it was
triggering.
fat phobic or ableist or triggering.
Was she
like-
yelling at like a retail person? Or
It
she
was
just
like
saying
a
She
something?
small
blasted them on
business.
social media, which
Yeah.
is almost worse.
It was what, like a frozen yogurt shop or
Yeah, because
something
then they
like
got
that.
like review bombed.
Look, I've defended her up until.
I hope they got a bunch of support counteracted.
Good.
They did.
That's good.
Also, I want to point out, like, me and Dane were looking, because when I was looking at pictures of Demi Lovato, it actually broke my heart because she was she's a beautiful woman when she was younger, and she just looks like she's going through something right now, and it's affecting her.
Head.
It's affecting her health, like her physical health.
Yeah, she shaved her head and gained a lot of weight, and it's like, why don't you want to be beautiful? I think that needs to be asked.
Maybe because she literally feels that
they can
expect
only
it
be
of
used
her.
against her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Curtis Terry said, Jamie, your first IRL appearance was a major part. Timcast saving my life.
Thank you for the.
Thank you for. I don't know what that is.
Get to it quicker. This is a compliment about me. I saved someone's life.
I tried hitting you up on Instagram.
Oh, my Instagram's a mess, but
if you have a chance, can you hit me up?
Yeah, if I see it for sure, and I'm glad I did some good. I'm back on IRL tonight, so let them boys know.
F off said, I don't feel bad for Demi. She's from Albuquerque, Burke, aka Albuquerque. I grew up there, and the chicks are nuts for real.
Well, you know, I mean,
all of them, literally all of them are Albuquerque.
This guy got
every last one.
Somebody got his heart broken in Albuquerque.
All of them.
He's like, especially Deborah. If she's listening.
Okay.
I remember what you did to me.
Screw you, Deborah.
The Last of My Kind said, hey, Mary, in the series finally of Community, Jeff and Annie talk about the social pressure of being forced to like Marvel movies. There's just nothing else.
Dan Harmon
Hashtag
rules.
6 seasons and a movie.
Dan Harmon rules so hard.
It is really funny how, like, for all of, like, for an industry full of possibilities, like, they're very, like, you have to like certain things and you're not allowed to like other things. Like, I have a friend who loves Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Loves it. Doesn't care.
Was that the one where they rollerbladed?
That was the one with the bat nipples.
I'm pretty sure.
George
I think
Clooney.
they also rollerbladed.
And
Chris O'Donnell rollerbladed.
And he loves it. I love Batman Forever with Val Kilmer.
Sure.
It's not objectively a good movie, but I love that movie. But in those industries, they're for being as open-minded as they claim, they certainly do enforce that you're only allowed to like.
Well, Mary wants more of that. More hipsters, less Batman and Robin.
I fully stand behind that. Yeah. Hobbit said gender fluid equals liquefied genitals?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
That's a disturbing revelation.
The Ezra Miller stuff was the most devious form of that when he was getting arrested and basically used his non-binary status.
Like trans people should have been furious
to get a female to search him.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Yeah,
that's very bad.
Jonathan Harris said, I feel pronouns are classist. If you don't like your gender, just change it. If you can't afford a gas, just buy a Tesla.
You know, there was a site that was selling like really funny like anti-Obama like merch, and they had slippers that said if you like your doctor on one slipper, and on the other one says you can keep your doctor.
What was that? Was that Luke's site?
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Hevoff said. Oh, wait, I already read that one. It was about the bots.
Read the one about how I saved someone's life again.
Are you sure?
No.
Charles Fritz said, to sum up the film, Moretz is CK's daughter. Moretz has a relationship with John Malkovich.
Yeah, that's not getting made today, my friend.
What?
I love that Louis CK's like, all right, now for my comeback. Where's John Malkovich?
Yikes. Jonathan Harris said, Demi is a secret watcher of Jordan Peterson.
It's not obvious.
It's not obvious. 1,000 Foot Deep End said the Daily Wire's superhero movie was the Hyperions.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Also, I feel like Demi Lovato would take issue with Jordan Peterson's very rigid ideas of what is and isn't hot.
That is true. That is true.
Sorry.
Not hot.
Not hot.
Not hot. Lobsters. Not hot.
She took the kids I want to die, sent us $1 with no message. Thanks.
How ominous.
Thank you.
Wait.
Don't do it.
No,
don't do it.
Please don't.
I bet who took the kids lives in Albuquerque though. Also,
Deborah from
also
Albuquerque. This is your fault.
Oh boy.
GOS85 said confirmed they're all nuts. Every last woman from Albuquerque.
Every single one of them.
Have I ever hooked up?
We are dying to know.
I've been to Albuquerque. No, I think the one girl I knew from there was cool.
Fair enough.
Oh no, it was crazy. Never mind.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, theory proven.
Yeah, you guys are right.
We're gonna do a quick discussion, and we're gonna keep this one brief. We're gonna talk about there's a new movie coming out, a new TV show coming out called The Patient on FX, and this story is essentially they cast Steve Carell in a role. And the description for the show is actually really interesting. It's like a serial killer takes a psychologist hostage and he's like, make me stop having homicidal impulses.
Okay.
Which is fairly interesting, right? And
Like he's his patient and he takes him hostage?
He takes the doctor hostage and makes him treat him like a patient.
Okay.
So basically it's the Patient creators, that's Joe Fields and Joe Weisberg, detail why they would cast Steve Carell, a non-Jewish actor, to play a Jewish character in the new FX series. And the name of that show is called The Patient. So they're defending Steve Carell's casting in here. And essentially,
if the show was called like Steve Carell as a Jew, then I'd be like, all right.
Okay. So the idea here is that they wrote the character, and Steve Carell was cast as this. He's not listed for I looked up the IMDb. He's got an unlisted amount of episodes, so it doesn't sound like he's the star of the show.
Okay.
But clearly they got him for the role, and he's a big name actor.
Well, this is like Bradley Cooper playing Leonard Bernstein vibes.
Yes.
Like, Jew face isn't a thing. You're just racist against Jews if you think that.
But for here, it's more because that's a real life character, right? That's a real that's a real life. I don't remember that.
But it
composer's
being
name.
a fictional character gives you even more leeway.
Yeah. So, but here they didn't make him after he was cast. Then, because the people making it are Jewish, they said, look, that's part of our heritage. They felt that it would fit with this character, so they implemented it into the character after he was cast. It was added, not a part of the casting decision beforehand. I wanted to know your guys' opinion on whether this would, because we talk a lot about casting.
Mm-hmm.
That's
we'll probably have very different opinions though too.
Oh, well, then you go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is not a new thing. This happens a lot where non-Jewish people get cast as Jewish characters. And I think that it's not something that's like as obvious as swapping another ethnicity because Jews are very diverse. And in this instance, it was something they added to the character after already casting him.
Yes.
But I would prefer to see Jewish actors cast as Jewish characters.
Why, though?
Because if you did it with any other ethnicity, people would be pissed.
I don't agree. Because they swap races for formerly white characters all the time, and that's something that's celebrated.
But no, that's not the same exact thing, though, because they don't have white people play the different ethnicity character. Does that make sense? Like,
she's saying
if you were to create a character who was Latina and the actress was white, people would be like, I don't know about that.
I don't think that's necessarily an issue.
Jessica Alba plays white characters all the time.
Right, but when you do it and the minority is the one who's being played by a white person, I think it's much different.
Like if there's a Latina actress that plays a white character, that wouldn't be an issue because the character is white.
Because it's not the minority being swapped out. I personally would like to see more Jewish actors cast in Jewish characters. I would rather watch that than watch the vice versa. But I don't think it's like the most harmful thing to the Jews either. But personally, I'd like to see Jewish people cast as Jewish characters.
Just give it to Ryan Gosling.
Should it necessarily be frowned upon?
I said, I don't think it's like the worst thing. I think that there's a lot more issues that people do wrongdoings to Jews we should be concerned about.
I just want to veer off from thinking that you have to personally experience what the character you played experiences.
Also, does the directors choosing this, who are Jewish, choosing to do this and giving the blessing to Steve Carell by adding this to his character, does that affect your opinion of it?
Well, also just how the role is done too. If it's disrespectful and stereotypical,
if he walks in with bags of money and is
oy
vey.
As far as we can tell, because
I think
the casting was decided by Jewish people, then they wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I don't think that one Jewish voice should speak for all Jewish voices. I personally would prefer it if they would cast Jews as Jewish roles. But
they're not. That's another thing that I take a problem with, is that it's not an artist's job. This is my problem with the idea.
I don't think it's Steve Carell's fault that they switched his role around after he got it, though.
I'm not just talking about him. I'm saying I am sick of Hollywood trying to pretend like they speak for all people. You should speak for your art and your art alone. I don't need them to speak for every single group of people that they claim that they're changing the lives of by displaying on screen in some way, shape, or form. Just make your art and let the art speak for itself. I don't need it to speak for the voices of everyone.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and I'm like, I'm with Taylor in the sense that if it was like offensive, or if it was just a bunch of non-Jews who were like Steve Carell and they just passed a bunch of good Jewish actors, but I have to hold myself accountable because I've definitely had moments where I see people complaining that this is a gay role and it's a straight actor, or this is this and it's a that, and I was like, I just can't be a hypocrite because I'm Jewish, where I'm like, if you make the art good, if it's not offensive, if it brings something to the character that another actor, again, you want people hired on merit, and what you don't want is, and this is where I had to really think about it because I've said this before, what you don't want is to start giving actors who maybe aren't as good the roles just in like a kind of affirmative action way, and then they do a bad job, and then people go, well, I don't want to see these Jewish actors anymore, and it's like, well, no, that person just wasn't the best actor for that part, but maybe that Jewish actor could have like killed it as this like gay character in this movie or in this other,
I agree that like we want the role in the best hands for the role, but also I don't think that it would be impossible to like put out a casting call for someone who's actually of the ethnicity.
That I agree with.
And I think that there's very little effort that goes into doing that, and we see that repetitively. But there's also movies that I've watched where non-Jews play Jews, and I like the movie. But would I prefer to see Jews? There was the one, I'm trying to think now because I can remember that movie, Life After Beth.
No.
I don't know that the actors in that movie were Jewish, but the family just was Jewish. They just happened to be. They didn't make it a big deal. But it's, what's her name? The girl, she's... Oh shoot! My computer died, but she's like, I think she was on The Office. Was she on The Office?
I want to know if it bothers you when a straight person plays a gay character or a gay character plays a straight person.
I never really thought about that. I don't think it's the same as ethnicity and race, though.
Okay.
But I mean, like.
But they would say similarly, it's an immutable characteristic. Therefore,
right.
Like they haven't experienced the struggle.
That's not one that I've like put much thought into, and I think that would be an interesting question to ask.
I wish we
gay
didn't
people.
have to put thought into it. Like, I don't want to only.
But
focus
also,
on these
same
things.
deal with like, is the actor going to portray the character in like a bad way or a stereotypical way that
then
isn't
that's
gonna...
not his fault. That's the direct. Then that's the person who wrote. Would it be okay? So say then with the same principle applies. It's a gay character, and it's written terribly, and they have to play a terrible parodied version of that character. Is it any less offensive because it's played by an actually gay person? No,
Right.
it's still offensive.
Sure.
It's just what? It's just like somehow they hit you with the double FU by casting somebody that wasn't. No, I don't. It should be about what the role entails.
I think it's Billy Eichner. I just saw a trailer for, I wish I remembered what it was called, but it was like a gay romantic comedy, and it does not look forced at all. And it doesn't look overly woke. It just happens to be dudes, and it looks so funny. Like, the jokes are good.
Are the actors gay?
I think the lead is, I don't know any of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to a gay person playing a straight role either.
There's
like,
a movie
if they're the right person for it.
There's a movie from 2012 called Zootopia.
I haven't heard about
that's
that.
An
What is
actual
that?
movie. I somebody told me about this, and I thought.
From what year?
This
2012.
sounds fake.
Okay.
I was like, that can't be a real thing. It's an actual
Is this like
movie.
Crazy Rich Asians,
Jamie and
but
I
for
need to
Jews?
just do Jew movie reviews.
It
Yeah.
says a romantic comedy.
No, we need to remake Zootopia is what we need to do.
It's only been 10 years.
Is this like a Crazy Rich Asians but for Jews?
A romantic comedy centered around a genteel who pretends to be Jewish in order to win the affection of his love
Wait,
interest.
I think I've seen this.
Stop it.
I think I've seen this, and it gets all the way to him like, I don't even know if I can say.
The character's name is Adam Lipschitz.
Yeah, I think
Incredible.
he pretends to be, and then I think he actually gets, like the
Snip?
chop, the
Yeah.
snip.
Oh no,
If I'm remembering this right, I may have seen this. It was bad.
it was
If
bad.
it's what I think it
It's
was.
named Zootopia.
Zootopia
Of
was
course
bad?
It's freaking bad. Like I remember when I was told about this movie.
Well, I saw
and
Zootopia at Sundance.
I was like, that can't be a real thing. It's a real thing.
Bro, imagine how
If
excited
we could-
they were when they came up with that title. I
we-
got it.
It's on free. If we could do a watch party, if I could still drink
This is
alcohol
all I've wanted.
and watch Zootopia
Behind the paywall.
And just drink every time they say.
behind
Yep.
the paywall.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
time they say
It's
Mazel
got
Tov.
Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. How bad can it be?
Oh, she was one of my first crushes,
I
too.
love Jennifer.
She was one of my
I think
first
that I have
crushes.
seen this.
If they had put the only way it could be better is if they had Amy Jo Johnson from the original Power Rangers in it. Then it could
yeah.
be even better. It's got John Lovitz in it because of course it does. Of course, like Zootopia, we should watch it.
Go to
Why?
Rotten.
Why did they have to do this?
Brett, my friend, go to Rotten Tomatoes. What does it have?
That's a fantastic. It was written by Brian Fogel and Sam Wolfson. Did the screenplay.
Wait a second. Brian Fogel, that name sounds familiar.
So he did Icarus, The Dissident.
No, never mind.
Those are both documentaries. So
Okay.
I recommend everybody watch Zootopia.
And then
Oh,
let's
geez.
gather back here next week.
And
Discuss
For a
it.
review.
Yeah.
would people in the comments want a review of Zootopia?
This
I
is
am
what it's
not,
come to.
I'm not recommending.
18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
go.
yeah,
28% from the fans.
Yeah, that was
Not so
a
hot.
lot of
Interesting.
Fogel.
So everyone hates it.
Yeah.
In
Could be so bad it's good.
At that low of a level,
Yeah.
it could be so bad it's good.
Well, I think that's like kind of why I watched it in the first place. But I must have watched it when it first came out because this is ringing bells now. But
It's called
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
It's kind of like watching.
yeah, I'm having flashbacks.
Did anybody here see Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves and Ana de Armas, where the two women like show up at his house and basically force him to have sex with them,
Whoa.
No.
That
and then they
rules.
blackmail him? Like
What?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Watch party. Watch party.
Yes, it's so.
That's actually ringing bells to me.
It actually makes me like the first time I watched it made me really really uncomfortable.
Why?
Because it plays into the guy in the show is literally like the nicest guy ever.
This
and
is
it
Keanu?
plays perfectly into Keanu's real life persona.
Oh,
so when you see this dude
no.
like being manipulated into finally having sex with these two women, you literally feel like you're watching the actual nicest guy in the world do this. And it's absolutely
That's
it's,
R-wordy.
No,
For
it is
sure.
the whole thing. The idea here is like he's like they do it and then they blackmail him afterwards and say we're going
Ooh.
to tell your wife that you did this.
Hold on. Speaking of R-wordy, do you guys remember What's Eating Gilbert Grape when Leonardo DiCaprio played?
Yeah.
Like, that is, I think, infinitely could be seen as more offensive than Steve Carell playing a Jewish
Why did he
person.
get away with that?
Or did anybody see Sling Blade?
Oh, Sling Blade.
Right.
Oh my God, Sling Blade was the best.
Nope.
But then what was the...
I forgot about
It
Sling
ain't
Blade.
got no gas.
Never
in it.
got big enough to play with.
What was
My
the-
little brother.
What was the movie that just came out? I was legitimately thinking about it this morning, where it was so good. Something Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon?
Yes.
Sling
yes,
Blade was definitely
yes.
offensive now that I'm thinking about
What
it.
about it?
Different time.
Oh, I just remember that was good, and
That was
like
a
that was
different
someone
time.
who,
Everyone loved that
who
one.
actually had Down syndrome.
And they loved Wonder, that movie about.
That I didn't see.
He has like a.
Oh, I remember that trailer.
Yeah, he has
I didn't
like
see the
a
movie though.
scarring on his face.
Mhm.
But like, there's a way to tastefully do that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And they made jokes about it in Peanut Butter, and it was great.
If we're gonna keep talking about offensive things,
Also, I remembered the actress Aubrey Plaza.
Ah,
She,
yes,
I
she's
don't
great.
think she's
Whoa.
Jewish. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I don't.
Oh, I didn't know.
She was in that movie, and the family was Jewish, and I don't know that any of the people were actually Jewish or
Is
not.
it
but
Zootopia too?
It was not Zootopia 2. It was. It's a
Did
comedy
you guys
zombie
watch
movie. It's good.
Uncut Gems?
yes.
I
Cut
didn't.
Gems?
I haven't
Gems?
checked that out yet.
If you have anxiety, don't watch
Gems?
it.
That's what I heard, and I didn't watch it.
Okay, people are calling out Eminem for cultural appropriation in old music video.
Uh
He's in trouble for.
I so wish that we could play the music video. I so wish.
He's in trouble for wearing a sombrero and a huge mustache while D12 pretends to be a mariachi band.
oh. They better not look into his other music.
It's like I love that we're in a society where like he can talk about like
He has
murdering.
a bottle of hot sauce that says D12 on it.
Guys, the last song he had, it was one of the ones he played at the Super Bowl,
Yep.
the biggest event, the halftime show last year. There's a verse that they didn't do that it's not even like he drops the F-bomb, you know the one, the F-bomb once. There is a verse where it's literally just that over and over and over. And he's like, little G looking boy. G, you're a G. You're a G. You're an FG. Like, it's bananas. And you just go, that's Eminem.
Well, we talked about him being a clone yesterday, so maybe he was a clone. Maybe this is like when he got cloned. But he says they purposely talk about it, all the lyrics that are in the song that are extremely offensive.
It's like if you only know that's an awfully hot coffee pot Eminem, I don't think you're ready for D12 Eminem.
I was saying, he was particularly more offensive whenever he did music with D12 because those were his boys.
I love that when he's seriously offensive, like saying like actual bad stuff about gay people, everyone's like, I get it. But then when he puts on a comically hilarious sombrero, they're like,
mustache.
that's
It's
too
like, all right,
far.
that's a bridge too far.
Yeah, you got to be mean about it.
So they talk about the 49-year-old rapper. I love that they have to quote the lyrics.
I love that he's 49.
Salsa makes all the pretty girls want to dance and get in their underpants.
It's such a good song.
It's such a good song.
I haven't heard the song.
It's like just
You don't
hearing
know
the way
that
he says,
one?
my band is the best part of the song.
Yeah.
And then he says, however, Tyga was recently embroiled in a scandal after releasing a music video for his song I Caramba.
History is supposed to rhyme, not repeat itself.
So he wears an even bigger cowboy hat. And a mustache that looks like it's a scarf. You
So
can see,
the only reason they're
look at
digging
on
up the
screen,
Eminem
look
video
on
is
screen.
because of that.
Where is it? Where is it? Enlarge it. Enlarge it.
He told LA Leakers and American Cholo podcast host Gil Tejada, I want to apologize to the Mexican community and my fans that are Mexican.
Was he wearing the hat and mustache when he apologized?
The mustache is like getting in the way of his mouth.
And it reminded me of when Speedy Gonzalez got canceled, and then they basically rioted and brought Speedy Gonzalez back.
Yeah.
Because Speedy Gonzalez is awesome. Tyga is no Speedy Gonzalez. Doesn't Tyga have like R-word claims against him? I'm almost positive.
I mean, there are a lot of rappers who do. I'm not going to say one way or the other because I don't know. But
he's like, oh man, all those claims from those women couldn't get me, but that damn enormous hat and mustache.
I feel like I
took
would
me
have
out.
heard about that just because he's with Kylie, though.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, the people who call this out, have they heard like any rap music? Because they're gonna be awfully shocked.
They're gonna be
if they do a deep dive.
horrified when they're
I
like,
mean, rap is just what puts it out there, like all of the offensive stuff, and then the rest of the celebrity class, they just keep it behind closed doors. Like, if you knew what your faves were saying or thinking about you, I don't think that you would be happy.
it would have been much more of a surprise if like Celine Dion came out in a big giant sombrero and a mustache and was like, andale, andale. It's like, okay.
It kind of is like canceling comedians.
Yep.
Like, what did you expect when you went to the show?
We talked about they're not going to prosecute anymore because music is art and it's not a confession of a crime. I don't want you to be prosecuted for cultural appropriation crimes while making art. You should be allowed to make your art. Is it offensive and stupid? Yes.
Yeah.
It was the early 2000s. There was a lot of offensive and stupid.
Oh, so this
And
was
frankly-
when he did it recently.
No, this
No,
was from.
this
is old.
This was back when
that's even dumber.
Yeah,
that's even dumber.
You never heard my band from D12?
No.
You probably have.
yeah.
If we played it right now, you would know it instantly.
It's funnier.
He is seen in a matador outfit.
So what's funny is when you read the article saying his name, I thought a 49-year-old Eminem was like, I got an idea. Get me a sombrero.
I don't think he would do that now.
No.
I don't think he would do
he's
that now.
matured.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is, and frankly, naming the song "I Caramba" was just
So
That's just.
so stupid and so
Do
funny.
you feel like it's easier to cancel women and pop stars than like men and especially rappers?
yeah. They don't care,
Because
They
it's
don't
just
care.
it's about who you think is going to respond the way you want them to.
and they just have the guts to not apologize. Well, he apologized.
I
Tyga
kinda-
apologized.
I've talked to Tim about.
Eminem wouldn't apologize for that, would he?
I don't know if
Did he
Eminem-
say anything?
He would at least be smart enough, I think, to just leave it be.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
let it blow over.
Yeah.
I've talked
Which is
to
what you
Tim
should
about
do.
it. I've talked to you about it, Taylor.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
Is that the
Caramba.
third one?
We all have to put on a
that two?
sombrero
Third?
now,
Yeah.
right?
Nice.
No.
We cannot all put on a sombrero.
All right.
We'll bring out our maracas
What if
from
just
under the table.
one of us does a mustache and one of us does a sombrero?
That would be offensive. That
You
would be
do-
offensive.
yeah.
I don't know why it's offensive. It's one of the things about like why is food never part of the cultural appropriation discussion?
because it's so
too freaking
delicious.
good.
So people are offended.
Like
but
we
only,
fold right then and there.
They're like, oh, but I can't have a burrito
No,
anymore.
but you're right. There is certain things. Like if I was like, I enjoy Chinese food, everyone would be like, yeah, it's really good. But if I was like, gong, and like pulled out a giant guy, everyone would be like, yikes.
You're
Like, that's not good.
I enjoy Chinese food while wearing a kimono.
Right.
That's
Oh,
not
it's
allowed.
a little.
It's not allowed.
Although,
At least
let's
we
talk
can
about
all
Tom Cruise
agree
in
that
Last Samurai.
food is for everybody and we
Yes.
should appreciate each other's cultures.
That's what we should do. That brings people together. We want to bring people together.
That's how
No, we
Zootopia-
have to tear everyone apart and make everyone angry and hateful.
Typical Mary. Typical based Mary, just ruining it for everyone with her
Based?
division. All right, we're gonna move on. So Beyonce is was it Beehive or Bayhive?
It's Beehive because Beyonce.
I know, yeah, okay. So
Beyonce.
she must call on her fans once again because yesterday we talked about she got in trouble for Khalees and stealing the lyrics to Milkshake.
She got in trouble for saying the word spaz on Heated.
Which,
We
by the
talked
way,
about that.
That line, spaz on your, the line, it's a great line.
I didn't
haven't
even get
listened to the album.
I never even got to tell the story yesterday. When I was growing up,
Okay.
that was a lot of times that was a nickname given to me, Spazcivic.
My best friend's, my dad, that's great. My dad nicknamed
You shouldn't have told us that.
My
I'm gonna
dad's
call you
gonna
that
come
all the time
back.
now.
it's catchy. My dad nicknamed my best friend Spaz. Spaz was just a hilarious thing you said, but it wasn't like it wasn't
Well,
ableist.
they were saying like only people in the UK think of it as like a serious derogatory slur.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, Beyonce's American, Lizzo is American. How would either of them know that? Or
Also, I wonder if her caving on that led to today's story.
She's being called upon to change
No,
more
that's
lyrics.
exactly what led to today's story because Monica Lewinsky is a clout chaser.
Monica Lewinsky wants Beyonce to remove the lyric about Bill Clinton affair after ableist backlash on Renaissance. What a time to be alive. I love that. I want her and Sarah Palin to run for president.
Do you
together.
have
Ser-
what's the lyric?
So it was
Is
in
it-
her song
Is that 'cause two
Partition,
women
and it
equal one
said
man?
he Monica Lewinsky'd all over my gown or whatever. And
Yeah, that's a
Later
pretty
on,
that's
like-
a pretty common term
I
in
know what
the
that
rap
means.
genre.
years ago, Monica Lewinsky posted like this article in Vanity Fair that was like, if you actually wanted to write that to be accurate, it would be Bill Clinton, not Monica Lewinsky. And
That's where you'd be
like,
better off
fair
just
enough,
not saying
but, like,
anything.
she's such a clout chaser that she can't help herself from commenting on it. And now, like, since she saw that Beyonce bent the knee and decided to re-record this lyric, she thinks anything's up for grabs.
She looks like Kelly Clarkson got a hold of her kid's Ritalin prescription.
Wow.
Yikes.
Like the
That's-
eyes are really wide.
That was some writing. That was good.
The eyes
Damn,
are-
Brett.
Yeah, I don't care.
So they talk about the affair. I do love that she like leans into like it's her thing. She's like, I effed a president. It's my thing. It's like,
Well,
you got your thing, I got my thing.
How
Everyone
much,
knows
how
what
much
I'm
Wanted
known
to
more
like
for.
make herself the victim of the situation.
How much more likable would she be if she came out, promoted the Beyonce song,
Yeah.
and was like, hey, yeah, remember when I effed a president?
I looked through.
I
her-
effed him so hard he got impeached. That would be awesome.
But I looked through her history of contributions to Vanity Fair, and the first one was called like Shame and Survival. And like if that's the angle you're taking on that incident, then why are you making a joke out of it? Like something in her Twitter bio was like song lyric muse or like rap lyric muse. She likes the attention that she continues to get from that history.
I wish Beyonce. I was watching before I came here. Dave Chappelle has another new thing on Netflix that I didn't know. It
Yeah,
says,
a lot of people they released it with like very little promotion.
Yeah, so a school after all the controversy, the theater school that he went to in D.C. is naming a building after him. And
No, he turned it down. He turned down the honor.
Oh, but he's giving a speech there about it.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so I'm 15 minutes in. It's great. It's so good. And I was just looking through all of the material he had on Netflix, and it's like you would have thought that he was the most bigoted, canceled person in the world, and he just stuck to it, and nothing happened. And Beyonce is so beloved and is so wonderful. If Beyonce thought she was actually hurting someone, maybe she'd change it. But the fact that she bent the knee at something so ridiculous is a bummer. But what a great example to show what happens, where it's like, okay, you caved on that one thing, and the next day, are you going to take something else out? And then what happens when you take Monica Lewinsky out? Is someone going to get upset about another one of your lyrics? Now, how does that affect your writing process as an artist?
Yeah.
Are you self-censoring yourself? What's
And
your next album look like?
That's why we were saying there are too many people credited for writing these songs, and then she's the only one who's held accountable when people get mad at what was written.
Right.
And it's barely even her responding to the backlash because she's not really that active on social media. It's her music group
One thing
that's making the decisions
Yeah,
for
it's
her.
gross.
One thing leads to the next, and all your music only comes out on Tidal, and then
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and this is what I was saying yesterday. Is
Tidal becomes the new Rumble.
This is the same thing as retroactively editing movies and shows that are on streaming platforms like Netflix. That's allowed now.
It's gross.
And all media is like up on the chopping block.
which means we need to buy pressed vinyl albums of this so we can hear the Spaz and Monica Lewinsky jokes.
I'm just saying,
I mean, the spaz
the
on
fake
that is
controversy
such a good line.
about Renaissance is the only reason anyone knows Renaissance came out.
Yep.
I'll say it. Like
I started listening to it. It was great. From
Yeah,
what I-
but
what I
why
heard.
did you hear about it at first?
'Cause I like-
Probably-
no. I'm the problem. I like Beyonce.
Yeah, Jamie's
like,
been
up on
counting
what
down the
Beyonce's
days till
doing?
Beyonce releases an album.
I love.
like
I
a
mean,
text
kind of.
from a Beyonce
I
fan club.
legitimately Lemonade. I thought was incredible.
When did you first hear about Renaissance, though?
I mean, it was just
Lemonade was a big deal.
It was
but
just trending on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, she hasn't done
Why
anything
was it
since."
trending on Twitter?
Oh, that I don't know. No,
I'm just
the
saying,
day it came out.
these things are planned.
I listened to it the day it came out, so I heard about it. I don't know when the controversy was. If it was the same day, then yes, probably.
I think it was like immediate, right?
I thought it was after
Yeah,
because I remember
the anger about that song Heated was immediate.
I remember being like happy about it, and then being
Well,
like, "Ugh,
the first
people are
one was
babies."
the Khalees that she stole the stuff from Khalees's.
That I didn't
well,
even
no,
hear- I
maybe
didn't
the
hear
first
about
one
that.
was the Me Too
Yeah.
Also didn't hear
vetting
about that.
system.
That wasn't
she
really a
did for
controversy, though.
collaborators.
That was just-
that wasn't a controversy, but it was definitely planned as like a drop in the bucket of headlines.
You have to
Yeah,
have
I mean-
your Me Too card and your vaccination card.
The Me Too thing was the first way that I found out Renaissance was coming out.
Yep.
So
I didn't even hear about that.
All right, Mary. I need your strong opinion on whether Britney Spears should have been allowed to get married at this church or not.
I feel bad for her. She didn't know that you have to be Catholic to get married in a Catholic church.
She slams Catholic Church
That
for not
seems-
letting her have a wedding.
That seems more than reasonable.
And I don't know if slams. We always
No,
say
not-
this,
not
like,
that she slammed them, but that you have to be
dramatized
Catholic.
language in headlines is always,
So here's what she said. She
Not
said that
representative.
She wanted to get married to Sam Asghari at this church. She had been to a wedding at this church prior, and then
A
decided
Catholic wedding.
Catholic. Yeah. So she says there.
But
this
she
is-
was just like, "Ooh, the building's pretty."
She's like, this is a nice venue.
Look at the
like-
pretty windows. Yeah,
I think that because so
took
many,
a picture with her bad phone.
so many churches are abandoned at this point and turned into museums, essentially, that people do think of them as equivalent to like just any old random wedding venue. And that's what happened here. I don't want to like blame her for it.
She was
And
raised.
I'm
Southern-
actually surprised that on social media anybody defended like anybody said like, well, factually you have to be Catholic to get married in a Catholic church. I would have thought they would be like on her side and they'd be like, wow, that's really discriminatory against
Yeah, I
Britney
mean, it would be
Spears.
one thing. It's like if she was Catholic and gay, or if she was Catholic and non-binary. But it's just like,
Or
you're
if
just,
she was just Catholic and Britney Spears, and they were like, no.
It's just like you're
They're
just
like, we weren't a
Britney
huge
Spears
fan
and
of
not
that.
Catholic.
She's Southern Baptist.
Right, like it's a different.
She's never been
it's a
Catholic.
different
Did she
thing.
apply for like a day pass?
No,
Yeah.
not
I mean,
allowed.
like a trial run.
That honestly just sounds more of like
Could she take the 7-day trial and then not pay? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can do the free trial and then return it. I would like to return Catholicism, please. No, I didn't get it. That just sounds more of like a rich kid thing, being like, but I'm Britney Spears, I can do whatever
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah,
You're like,
I think that
And the church is
religious
like, nah,
spaces
dog.
should be
I
respected.
mean, maybe Sam Asghari is Catholic. I have no idea, but like he's also kind of like.
Do they both have to be Catholic?
No, Catholics are allowed to marry non-Catholics.
But I'm saying like
in a Catholic
church.
Yes.
Okay. All
But
right.
like at least one of them has to be like a member of that church, and like not they have to be like a confirmed Catholic.
Do they have to be a member of that church specifically, or just they have to show like their membership?
I don't think it
card
has to be that church specific.
Brett is,
card.
Brett is determined to get married at a Catholic church
To
right
Britney
now.
Spears.
Exactly. I will make her get a better phone for the photos.
But she correctly made the judgment that Catholic churches are prettier than Baptist churches, so that's a win.
So yeah,
That's why Mary's on her side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they says Britney's coming for the church. Iconic, one person said.
Iconic.
Yeah. I hate how people talk on Twitter.
Actually, like most of the tweets I saw about this were
Look, you got
calling her out. Like, dude, why
Not
do
a
you
lot
think you would
of
be allowed to do that?
clap backs.
So then the real question is, who is more entitled, Britney Spears or Madonna, for asking if she can call the Pope?
Madonna. Because Madonna, at least, like, she's crazy too, but like she's got
Madonna is
the
a
wherewithal to know
different
she's
type of
doing that to
crazy.
be snarky.
Yeah.
Britney,
Madonna's
just, like,
Britney,
snarky.
Britney is the Disney to downward spiral pipeline crazy. Madonna is a whole different type of crazy.
Madonna's like, yo,
Yeah.
Pope, let me talk to you. Like, I know you're busy, but
That was just like snarky about the fact that her stage name is Madonna, which is the Virgin Mary.
it is a beautiful church. The photos.
Yeah,
of
it is.
Mhm. It would be a beautiful place to get married if you're a Catholic.
Yeah.
So Brittany just maybe if she wants, maybe she can become a Catholic, and then she can they can renew their wedding vows there. They got money. They can renew their wedding. They can have a whole ceremony there 5 years from now.
Yeah, you can still have that if you want to join the Catholic Church, Brittany. Like
She
here
could
for
do
it.
like a Catholicism obstacle course where outside she gets baptized, then she goes inside.
You have to do
and
all of them at once.
all of them at once, and then at the end, if you do it all correctly,
It's like a triathlon?
and then you get to get married.
Okay.
That's like at the finish line. It's like she's like covered in water, and then they're like, "I now
water.
pronounce you
covered in
Catholic."
holy water.
Yeah.
Catholic Ninja Warrior.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Oh, I
That's,
miss Ninja
she's pitch
Warrior.
it, pitch
She's
it,
got to
pitch
do
it.
like the salmon
Yeah.
ladder.
Like, how bad
Is
do you
Ninja
really want to get
Warrior
married
canceled?
I don't know. Is it probably?
Yeah, I mean, it was a culturally appropriating ninjas.
Yeah.
You know,
I really stumbled through that joke. It was so funny in my head. I started laughing too early.
Don't you hate that?
Yes.
you guys ever been to one of the parks where they have the Ninja Warrior setup? Is that a thing in America?
No, what?
I've
In
used-
Israel, they're everywhere.
Ninja Warrior?
They're like
free
the
obstacle
walls
courses?
and the obstacle courses at playgrounds and
That's
stuff.
sick.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, is that a thing in America? Because I never
Probably
seen them
somewhere.
here. But
I've-
I saw several out there.
I've done the salmon ladder. That's and that's That's actually terrifying.
I don't know, man. I just learned how to
Wait,
fight
the
people, so I don't
salmon
have to do
ladder?
that crap.
The bar, and you go to the next bar, and the next bar.
Oh, where you
Yeah.
have
Well,
to.
yeah,
okay.
you get high enough up. That's actually kind of
No,
scary.
no,
so.
yeah, no. That's why I fight, so I don't have to climb things.
Super chats.
Let's go. Hobbit said Thanos tried to prevent the fall of Marvel. Did he?
Yeah, by ending
by
it
getting
all.
by getting rid of half of the characters.
Yep.
That's a very clever joke.
Bad app. I don't want to read that. Roland S. said something out of left field. What works better for an energy boost in workouts, sugars or ketones? Do you even know the difference? Do you?
Yeah, work out harder. That's what
Um,
Chet Hanks would say.
Only vaguely do I know the difference, and I don't care.
My advice was good. Don't ignore that, everybody. Work out harder! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
What would Chet Hanks do?
That's what I said. Yeah. Work
I
out
wonder
harder.
what Chet Hanks' diet looks like.
Yeah, well, let's call him
He
on it.
he talks about it.
He
I
has,
mean,
yeah.
he's your trainer now.
Guys, why?
So
It's gonna be yours.
Oh wait, I can read you.
Maybe.
I can
We'll
read it to
see.
you. I wonder if I'd get in trouble.
did you
because
get a
I
meal
paid for
plan
it.
or something?
Oh wait, you can't like expose
I don't
his
think I could,
secrets.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
John-
asked for. It's fine.
Is
I
he
prob-
giving you a meal plan and everything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I tried.
All right. I'll have to
I'll tell you
find
after.
out if he
yeah,
gets
yeah.
back to me.
Jonathan Harris said, "Give the role to Kirk Lazarus. He'd be good." The role of what were we talking about?
He's talking about the Steve
Zootopia?
Carell role. The Steve Carell role in
Oh.
The Patient.
Oh, okay. Charles Fritz said, "Sadly, Jew face, gay face, and criminal face are all real things that artificial intelligence programs prove are real. They have about 90% accuracy.
It's terrifying.
That's insane."
Also, the golden ratio. Also, most celebrities fit into the
That's why there's so many celebrity doppelgangers, is they
Yep.
just look the same.
Oh,
They-
interesting.
Oh yeah.
the golden ratio.
Ginger Biscuits said, "Awesome show, everyone. You are all hilarious. Good morning from New Zealand."
Let's go.
Good morning.
Let's go.
Good morning. Bobcat said, I just want to see Hollywood not suck at casting.
For sure.
As long as identity politics is imbued in Hollywood culture, it will suck at casting for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Michael Williams says, don't mind me. I'm just here to simp for Jamie and Brett's ankles.
Let's go.
Brett's ankles.
My ankles. I do have my. Wait, can you see my ankles right now?
No.
This comes
Look at
from
ankle
Elijah
cam.
Schaefer lore. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, good.
I don't know why everyone thinks Mary is a ghost when she's obviously a Tim Burton character. Why not both?
Guys, I gotta say, I got really nervous for a second because I was like a compliment and I got happy, but I rolled my cuffs up today because I'm wearing slippers, and so my ankles are exposed. And I was just like, "Hey, is there some weird foot fetish camera I don't know about every time I do this show?" And I was
Jamie foot
Such
cam?
a good
I was
idea to put
not
like
okay.
a 360 camera
Not a
right
good
down
idea.
there.
Can
really
we?
not.
That's how
It's
you get.
not,
That's
actually.
how you get sued.
Your
Yeah.
feet would be the only ones hidden by the computer.
That's true.
So,
Plus, I'm charging extra.
yeah.
Charging
St.
extra.
Miles said Zootopia was really hilarious.
I want to watch it now.
I
We're
need. I
watching it,
kind of
we're
want to.
watching it,
We
we're watching
should.
it.
I'll rewatch it. We'll have a watch party.
Yeah.
But
Iron Ghost.
I don't have high expectations.
Well, it's called Jut. I mean,
You know,
No.
Taylor, you said you wanted more representation,
It was
and then they give you Zootopia.
it's like 2000. Like, imagine
be
that. Like, you want to know how much better life was? Whatever you feel about the movie, somebody came up with that name and nobody corrected
No one
him.
batted an
And
eye.
Nobody said
Nobody had
a
to
thing.
care.
They're
There
like,
was
we're
no-
gonna make $1 billion.
The woke police were out.
They didn't care.
They hadn't
didn't
established
care.
yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Iron Ghost 1982 said, can you imagine if they made a Cast Castle movie and casted a black actress as Mary? I would lose immersion
That'd be
immediately.
so funny.
Well, that's
I
what-
would too, dude.
Your,
That would be-
your pale. It's like we talked about with James Bond. Your paleness is a part of your character.
Guys, no. We need to make a purposefully woke and like miscast all of. Obviously, a guy has to play Taylor. Then have like some Latino dude play me. Just totally
Just
PC.
fully disregard reality.
100%. I'm down. I like that.
Jonathan Harris said Eminem, and I'd do it again.
You would.
Yep.
Hobbit says Cast Castle movie with Brett race swapped.
John Boyega, where are you?
Yeah, you said you wanted to
said you
support.
wanted-
This is an indie film.
This is an indie film. I accept you. You can even keep the British accent.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want, like, if Ana de Armas doesn't have to change her voice to play Marilyn Monroe, John Boyega does not have to change his voice to play me.
This scene, by the way, with John Boyega saying exactly what you just said, has to be in the movie. With the British accent, you can keep the British
And
accent.
you can keep the British accent.
Javi J said, just wanted to say hi to our Jewish princess Taylor.
Thank you. Oh,
The albino dark elf queen Mary. Wow, I'm not albino. And ask why Jamie is still in the room and not at his desk writing a reboot for Zootopia.
yeah, we'll get there. We'll
and
get
Brett
there.
too.
I write better in the mornings, is the answer.
They just had to add the and Brett too. didn't
Because,
they?
yeah, I'm an afterthought. That's
Okay.
That was such a
If I
bummer.
was a pro wrestler, my name would be the Afterthought.
Oh no.
I mean, that's a good pro wrestling name.
St. Miles said,
Your
we need
finisher
a
is
party
remember
for
me.
today's show.
We got 3 parties.
We got
today.
3,
Yeah.
maybe 4
Yeah.
before the end.
Let's do it.
Depends on how
Jonathan
long.
Harris said, Tyga really looks like Yosemite
You
Sam.
gotta see this photo of him
Wait, what?
in the thing. In the thing.
Oh, with the
Oh,
sombrero on
from
the
I Caramba.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
I lost my place. I have no idea. F off said Tyga does not need a microphone Wait, what?
Baffle?
With that stash. I can't wait to see Eminem get burned. He has bent the knee so hard lately.
Yeah, I mentioned yesterday that he had a song called "We As Americans" that was super pro 2A and weirdly like anti-establishment back in the day. And obviously, his early music was very, very anti-establishment. But
Yeah.
you become part of the machine, and it takes you.
Watch
feel
like
like
a
most of-
apology come out, and it's like 30 pages long for every
Actually,
for every
if he
lyric.
rapped an apology and he just
Actually, just make a
re-says
song.
every insulting thing he's ever said. He's like, "I apologize for," and then he cuts
Just
all
says
his
all the
songs.
same stuff, yeah.
And then he does it again in Spanish.
Yes.
Well, I feel like all of his music now is about his personal beefs with
Yeah.
like other rappers instead of
It's because he always embarrasses them.
real commentary. Like his beef with Machine Gun Kelly was actually pretty funny to watch.
It's like I felt like he should have just not even acknowledged Machine Gun Kelly. Like most of it, it's like he should be. He's so far above most of them that there's no reason to respond when you've reached his level.
That's
Bobcat
true.
said, there is nothing wrong with Spas. I just prefer Benelli. Wait, what?
I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry, I don't either.
I feel like that happens
I'm sure
a lot.
it was
like,
offensive.
We always come off looking like we don't know what that means.
And I don't know what to say other than that. I'm sorry.
Every time it's something we don't understand, I assume it's a commenter trying to trick us into saying something hateful.
Probably.
Yeah. So.
Bad App said Eminem appropriated Britney Spears also.
He had.
He tried to get married in a Catholic church.
How so?
Zing.
He had plenty of Britney Spears jokes in his earlier albums.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Caper2X said, no one expected Mary's Inquisition. Adios, Taylor. Well, Taylor's still
Adios.
here, though.
She's still here.
Well, I always get like howdy, adios, like
Why is that?
interesting greetings and goodbyes. I don't know.
Taylor's going to be around
But-
more. Is that 2 weeks from now, or is it a week from now?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Almost a week from now.
Okay.
Yeah. Jonathan Harris said, Taylor, Brett's ankles are a slippery soap.
A
They
slippery
should be
slope.
illegal.
So
Soap.
Yeah, I am
Slippery
totally
slope.
against the foot cam.
well,
And ankle cam.
like
all of
Ankle cam, slippery slope. It can't end well.
everything went wrong when when women started showing their ankles and then their knees, and then society
Yeah.
fell apart. So you know.
Now I get nervous to even post photos of like my whole body if I have on heels or sandals because they're
those feet pics are going to end up
because
somewhere.
that's not what
Yeah.
I'm trying to attract, but they find
You gotta crop it out. Just crop it out of the picture.
But I wear cute shoes sometimes.
right?
I like the idea that you have to
Like-
and it's not even just that, but it makes the photo worse because you have to crop it badly. Like,
Yeah.
like you're actually sacrificing a good photo just so that they can't have pictures of your feet.
There's a comic who she pixelates her feet in every picture, and it's
That's
so
funny.
funny. It's become like a bit. Yeah.
Hobbit
not a bad
said,
idea.
PCC equals personal cult of Chet. I must flee.
No.
Is it the personal cult of Chet?
I mean,
that sounds
just
right.
We're getting
fans.
there. We're definitely
we're
getting
we're
there.
on our way.
If we could get him here.
Bad Op said, instead of a crisis party, can we get an ankle peep?
Sorry.
No.
No,
Oh.
you can't.
I'm just using it as a way of pushing everyone to my only ankles.
They only want your ankles. They don't care about us.
See, you're not an afterthought anymore.
F off said, I second what Bad Op said. Bruh.
Sorry, guys.
Bruh. You're objectifying Brett's ankles.
You
right
went
now.
from being an afterthought to being objectified. I love
I hate
it.
this.
There's a great set of Instagram videos with this lady who holds up like a megaphone and yells like cat calls at guys, and like the guys are never upset. They're always like, "Oh, that was quite nice.
Thanks,
Thank you."
lady.
Yeah, that's like what it is because it just doesn't happen to guys. Like
Because they just like to get complimented
Yeah.
for once.
the guy, it's like this kind of chubby guy. She's like, "You look like you beat Zelda in one sitting," and the guy's like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's incredible.
When gay guys hit on me, I'm like, word.
Yeah.
Like I feel good.
There you go. All right, guys, thank you so much, Jamie. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Jamie Kilstein. Instagram is where I'm happier at the Jamie Kilstein, but I have a smaller following there. I'm performing stand-up comedy in Houston this weekend, Friday and Saturday. You can get tickets at riothtx.com. And then the 19th and 20th, I believe, I'm at the Funny Bone in Dayton, Ohio. I love you guys.
Perfect. Taylor.
I'm Taylor Silverman, or actually, that's not my tag.
But you are Taylor
I'm
Silverman.
Taylor Silverman, but on Instagram, I'm Taylor May Silverman. On Twitter, I'm TM Silverman. This weekend, I'll be speaking at CPAC if you happen to be in Dallas and want to get
It's going to
tickets.
be live
but
streamed, right?
There should be a live stream
Okay,
as
good.
well, and I'll try to share that on my social media.
Cool.
But I'll be back next week.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram or WeChat at Closer Kitty, and whenever I post articles on timcast.com, I promote them there.
That she does. Guys, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Brett Dasovic. For the show, we are here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We love it when you come and join us in person, watch the show. It's the best way to take in all of this ridiculousness, I swear. But if you would prefer to listen rather than watch, I don't know why you would, but you can. That's on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. Or on social media, if you'd like to catch up with us there. We are on Twitter at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at popculturecrisis, and on Instagram at popculturecrisispod. Bad app. I get to do Mary's line this time. I'm not reading that. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys. Bye.
Later.
Bye.